wrestling kids and the millions listening live around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for Around the Table.
All right. Good evening, or good morning, depending. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Round Table Wrestling. This is your host and one of your many esteemed panelists, Pablo Aquino, Skibidi Wrestling. I'm here with a few people, friends of mine. I got the Wild Man, Keith Miller.
Hey.
I got Brent the Nightmare Ward.
What's up?
Yep. We still do that in 2024. And I got homie right here, my friend David Logan. Nice to
What's
see
going
you.
on? Let's go.
Good to see y'all. It's a pleasure to be back for another beautiful week. Everybody that's here from last week, thank you for coming back, and people that are new, welcome. We're a weekly we are a podcast / radio show that goes on weekly, and we discuss the happenings of pro wrestling because wrestling is life, and art imitates life, and wrestling is art. But one thing we have to touch on right quick is the news category and the news portion, and I will send it over to the Nightmare to speak a bit on that.
All right. Well, thank you. So first off, Freddie Prinze Jr. gives an update on his promotion, and didn't go too well with a couple of the people, the companies that were going to broadcast it. So he was looking for someone to broadcast, and Warner Brothers Discovery was one of them, and Vice TV was another. Guys, he said it was absolutely terrible what happened at those meetings.
Yeah, Vice didn't have the money, and Warner Brothers wasn't interested at all. Sounds like he's gonna have a rough time getting this thing going.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, he wanted to partner. Well, he did find a streamer who said that they would put it on, but they wanted him to partner with an independent wrestling promotion. So he's trying to do that now.
Well,
so
that's the thing about it. That's the thing about trying to get any business off the ground. It's just you need investors, you need people that have interest. But yeah, I don't blame certain. Vice TV just didn't have the money, and they're restructuring. But Warner Brothers, I imagine that they're difficult. They probably wanted him for Scooby-Doo 4. He wasn't willing to bleach his hair blonde anymore. Which I understand. I tried to do that one time and I got detention.
Yeah. With all the gray is a lot harder to bleach than brown. So now that he has,
I suppose,
a head of white hair, it's probably going to be harder to bleach. So
I have one white hair right here, and I just leave it alone. I call it Chester.
Nice.
Say hello, Chester, everybody.
So,
what up, Chester?
Hello, Chester.
I didn't mean it. Don't address my white hair.
I'm like Ron Burgundy. It's on the prompter. We do it.
Hey.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Yeah. Trill Williams signs with WWE. Appears on NXT. Guys.
Say that again.
Trill Williams.
Trill Williams.
Yeah, he was a quarterback for the Dolphins.
Yeah, corner.
Yeah.
Corner.
Yeah, and he was in the background during one of the backstage gimmicks this week.
I was about to say, I thought it was like Trick Williams' like alter ego or something like that.
And they too.
Maybe that's going to be his big brother or
About to
something.
say Trills means something where I'm from. I'm like, I don't
Right.
understand.
Yeah.
Oh, his name is a Trillion, so his name is shortened for Trill. Okay.
Yeah.
So is he somebody who is interested in? Oh, he's signed with the WWE. Actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, he signed, dude. He's got a contract now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he went down there, tried out, and they was like, "Hey, all right, you're on board."
So it's it pretty obvious that him and Trick are going to have a tag team together?
That's what I'm thinking.
Trick and
If
Trill.
he's keeping his name, dude, I think they're related now.
Yeah,
Unless they give him a new name.
they'll be brothers or cousins. So
I guess so.
Hey, look, he's that. He went to Dudleyville and got a brother now.
Right? Yeah, that's how it goes down there.
Next, he needs the really small guy who looks nothing like him to just take absurd bumps and just call him Spike.
He did. One thing about
Trick, Trill, and
Trizzy.
I don't know. I'm trying to
We
think.
could come up with so many names, but I don't think any of them are going to be good. That's funny.
You gotta have him now. You gotta go do that.
Well, what do we think Trill is going to be doing as far as is he somebody who looks like he's going to be a main player out here? Is
I mean, he's a pretty good sized dude. I mean,
yeah,
that's a wild statement, but
but I anybody can be good if you put the time and the work and I mean it's all about what you want to, how far you want to go in that business,
Well, it reminds me, it's obviously different because I believe I imagine Trill to have had a very short career.
Yeah,
but like D'Angelo Williams, when he came, D'Angelo Williams, who actually just resurfaced a little bit more, but he came in and he's really athletic, but did he necessarily, was he able to put in the work and did he do everything that needed to be done? Like, it's just, I respect somebody for, switching over. Obviously, he was at the tops of the tops, right? Like, people that make it to the NFL, like, they are, doesn't matter if you're Baron Corbin or Goldberg or if you're Roman Reigns, is like, those guys played football and they were recruited and, like, accepted at a very high level.
Yeah.
So I do think, they're obviously top tier athletes, but it doesn't always translate over.
Right. And
well, two things. Oh,
go ahead.
Okay. Two things. First of all, he graduated from Syracuse University, which is where I was born. I'm from upstate New York, so shout out.
Go Orange.
And and the other thing is the reason he had to retire from football is he tore his ACL. A torn ACL is not a good thing going into a professional wrestling career.
No.
We've seen those injuries reoccur over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So here's hoping.
Worried about.
Yeah, here's hoping that doesn't bother him. Obviously WWE doesn't think it's gonna be an issue, but a torn ACL. Look at Dakota Kai. You know what I mean? Like it's rough. They go out a lot. So
now returning, but we'll save
it. Woohoo! She looks so hot. Just saying. Just saying.
So you mean there was nothing behind that comment at all? Don't that seem suspicious?
Yeah.
John Cena set to appear at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, he announced it.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for it.
It's happening.
Yeah,
I'm not ready for it.
Why not? Why not, D-Lo? Like, what's?
I basically grew up watching them. It's him and LeBron. It was like, I saw it. It was like right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, I already know Bron's and then it's coming soon. It's like, I'm not ready for that either. It's like that.
Both their hairlines are severely lacking right now.
Beard got the bag. It's sad, bro.
He already announced it. It's weird to me because he already called his shot like very early. He was like, "Yeah, this Royal Rumble that I'm going to be at is the last Royal Rumble." So he pretty much told us, "Okay, you're going to be in it. You're going." And then he was like, "The last Elimination Chamber is my last, and then WrestleMania is my last."
Yeah,
WrestleMania. So like, but there's no really. Is there any sort of mystery behind this anymore. Obviously, who he's facing hasn't been mentioned, but I've speculated a few things. There's so many people that come to mind.
I'm hoping it's Braun Breaker.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah.
Very cool.
It'd be fun, but I don't think
Mhm.
I don't
We
think I
need
want
him in
John Cena facing a
RKO
mid-card title holder.
Yeah.
at WrestleMania. At the
Well,
Wrestle-
by WrestleMania, hopefully Braun
After
Breaker's figured out.
Yeah, but if it's a swan
Wait.
song, right? Like
Yeah.
obviously he's big on putting people over, right?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
lost the Intercontinental to Carlito's first day. He lost it to Kevin Owens' first day. Like he's not against putting people over, but I just figured that a retirement like kind of thing, a retirement
Him and CM Punk.
send off would be
Yeah.
CM Punk, him and Randy, him and
Yeah.
even like The Rock.
Yeah.
That's what you would at least assume that would be a go away. Like how Bryan Danielson, right? He was like, I want to fight Okada, I want to fight Ospreay, I want to fight Zack Sabre Jr., I want to fight all these people, and then I'm just gonna go because at that point there's nobody else to fight. We all did this game where we're like, oh, fantasy booking now in WWE, you can pretty much fantasy book all you want, and like with AJ Styles, we've seen it all now.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just when he wants to hang it up.
I mean, Solo Sikoa, he put Solo Sikoa over strong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that's funny is the reason that John Cena announced that he was going to be at Royal Rumble was because of sluggish ticket sales. They're trying to boost the ticket sales.
Well, they're so
Really?
expensive.
Yeah.
And in February. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
February in Indianapolis, that's not a good time, dude. I'll tell you that right now.
That's what I was like.
I was about to
Downtown
say,
Indianapolis is windy and cold in February.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
if they really wanted to boost ticket sales, just announce Pat McAfee's match because we all know he's going to be in it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is he going to be in the actual Rumble though?
Yeah.
Nah, he gonna check
I'm
it out.
sure he will be.
And then he throws over Braun Breaker, and then they feud for the IC belt.
Heck yeah.
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 CM Punk's dog Larry is getting more merch.
Woo! I want a
Congratulations.
stuffed Larry. Yeah, I want a stuffed Larry.
Yes, absolutely.
They do something like that, but I think he has to pass away first.
Where my
Hey, now.
dog at? So my dog at? Yeah, it makes me proud.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a taxidermy reference. Okay, that's cool.
For real. Where my dog's at?
This episode is brought to you by Bill's Taxidermy.
Hey now.
You love your dog, keep him forever.
Put him on the table.
There you go. AEW and CMLL are doing a crossover show December 14th.
Mm.
I like it. There's so many
Yeah.
options. There's so many. They already mingle so much, commingle with their. Obviously Vikingo was AAA champion, then Kenny Omega was AAA champion, and they were always on AEW. So, but yeah, let's see.
Yeah, it should be fun.
LA
I like
Knight.
it.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I like it when lucha stuff mingles with with American wrestling. It's always fun. So
for sure.
Even though they kind of blend into each other, and
yeah,
now, like,
AEW
all
kind of does
wrestling,
lucha too. So
not even that, just like all Japanese wrestling, all Mexican wrestling, all like British style, strong style. It's all just melding into
it's
the
all
same
kind of
place.
combined.
Yeah.
And they're Jacob Fatu has all those moves.
Indeed.
LA Knight shoots LA Knight shirts out of a cannon at the Pistons Bucks game. That happened.
I like that they're going outside and being on these other sports platforms. Like we've seen Seth Rollins do it with the Colts Bears game and stuff like that. I like it.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
I didn't like that he was wearing a Bucks shirt, but a Bucks jersey. But aside from that, I'm Pistons guy, man, and we're having a better season. So yeah.
Some bigger news for Pablo's end of things. Mike Bailey's TNA contract expires, and AEW moves Collision from the Nationwide Arena to GalaxyCon.
Really?
Know where any of these places are.
Yeah. So I think and AEW is also interested in Mike Bailey, apparently. So that should bigger platform for him.
He is interesting. I will give him that.
I think moving to GalaxyCon is a good move for them because GalaxyCon, there's going to be more people at GalaxyCon than there was going to be in the Nationwide Arena. It's probably a paid show. Most of the time when you do a show at a convention, it's a paid show, so they're not going to lose money.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
And you could sell merch and you could do autographs and stuff like that over there.
Right.
And it's pretty much just catered to that sort of niche a bit.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's a Dynamite taping, so it's going to look cool on TV. Hopefully they focus on the fact that they're at GalaxyCon a little bit. That'd be fun, do a little crossover. But.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Speaking of AEW, Jake Hager was fired, but not from AEW. He actually had his contract expire back in June from that.
Mm-hmm.
No, he left there on his own. But Blitzkrieg Pro Wrestling removed Hager from the December 14th show, citing his behavior on social media, and says that they will no longer are willing to work with Mr. Hager.
Dang.
You gotta love internet news, man, because it was all over that he was fired from AEW for his comments, and apparently he hasn't worked for AEW in a really long time.
Yeah,
so.
his contract expired in June. I read all up on
That's
it.
why it was funny to hear that. I was like, wait, how do you get fired from a place you left already?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the
So
petty
rare.
ex-girlfriend who calls you like 3 months later and she's like, I'm never going to talk to you again. I was like, I wasn't talking to you for the last 3 months. I was like,
Right.
but you're right. It's my fault.
Yeah, indeed.
And
Indeed is where you can find another job, Jake.
for real. Some
Hey,
bigger news than that. Boston hardcore punk band singer Wesley Isold sues WWE wrestler The American Nightmare Cody Rhodes for trademark infringement and seeking $900,000 in compensation.
Good luck.
Why?
That's it.
Is it because of his band or?
Well,
So apparently the American Nightmare was the name of this guy's band, and him and Cody Rhodes came up with an agreement to where he could use the name American Nightmare, but he had to use it in a limited capacity, and he feels like Cody Rhodes has violated that, like he's used it too much. But no court is gonna freaking award him anything. You know what I mean? Come on, dude. That's all apples and oranges. That's what I think. But
he says that he stated that WWE forced Cody to break the existing contract between them with the merchandise. So we shall see what comes of that. On to some happy news though.
Shenanigans.
So Selena De La Renta's water breaks at an actual show.
Wait, was she on this show?
That's happy.
Yeah,
she's been on
and,
ML. She's back on MLW. She's been there for a little bit. Yeah.
And they had a baby girl, a daughter, her and Javon Fresco. So congrats to them.
Well, as a fan
Congratulations.
of the Spoiled Brats from years ago, that's not necessarily happy news to me because, Selena, holla.
That's funny. That is funny.
No, congratulations. I'm just playing.
Congratulations.
I also, if we can talk about it, of the things that you would want to see in a wrestling match, that's probably not one, but
right?
I would
Splish
say yes.
splash.
Don't. Oh my sweet lord. Might have to edit that one out. Who knows?
There's a new MLW National Openweight Champion was crowned. Matthew Justice.
Cool.
I thought it was the baby of Selena De La Renta.
Congrats to Matt Justice, man. He's put in a lot of work over the years, and
he's been around forever. Yeah, good
he's
for
a really
him.
cool guy too.
Real good wrestler. Yeah,
very good.
Yeah, good for him.
This was probably my favorite news of the week. And my thing is, Bully Ray, are you stupid?
Yeah.
No.
So Bully Ray says he'd kill MJF in a promo battle.
You took too long to say the in a promo battle part. and somebody's gonna clip that. Please don't.
Yeah.
Clip it. That's okay. But he said that he would best MJF in a promo battle. I do not think so.
No,
Yeah.
he's not even on his level.
I do
I mean,
like Bully Ray, and I feel like, yeah, he's obviously known for just speaking his mind and just being a brash New Yorker, kind of
I
like
love
Eddie
Bully Ray.
Kingston, kind of like Eddie
Yeah.
Kingston, and pretty much anybody from where I'm from. But no,
Yeah.
like MJF will make you look like street trash. He will just talk you down a hole.
That's for real.
That man, you know how he says he's better than you and he knows it? He's from
Yeah.
Long Island. Yeah, he really believes that. He 100% believes he's better than you.
Ain't Bully from Long Island too? Ain't Bully from that? I know you from New York too. But he from that
Is he
same.
from Long Island?
Manhattan, Long Island, somewhere around in there.
Yeah.
Even worse though.
I mean, yeah, Manhattan
I'm
is
like, y'all underestimate. Y'all underestimate Bully. Y'all
Manhattan's pretty
underestimate.
elite.
I mean, it's style of New York. You feel me? They're gonna try to rep it.
Yeah.
You know he could get raunchy. If he get raunchy, if you wanna get there, Bully can get raunchy.
He's from Queens.
I was looking it up too, man. You beat me.
He can definitely speak. Thing
Yeah.
is though,
Well, you know who else was from Queens? Ultimate Warrior, and he couldn't speak.
no, he did not. He just would make
we
assortment
we
of
won't
grunts.
talk about him on the mic, okay?
No.
Also, you spoke of Eddie Kingston. He is injured.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He sustained a fractured tibia,
Oof.
and the larger of the two bones in the lower leg, which was confirmed through X-rays taken in California. Tough break for Kingston, man. Kingston is actually one of my friend's cousins. So,
nice.
Yeah. So,
Pass on some well wishes to him.
yeah, definitely. I'll have to call Scott and tell him.
Damn.
We'll have to backfist somebody in honor of you, Johnny Kingston.
And the final piece of news: Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson set for tonight live on Netflix. The Hall of Famer yesterday slapped the living dog shit, sorry about my language, out of Jake Paul. And I mean, well, Jake Paul did step on his foot, so.
Okay, can we just can we just immediately make this round tabled?
Go ahead. Sure.
I think this really does matter. Okay, so if I could get, I'm gonna go clockwise from me. If I can go to D-Lo and then end at me, if that works.
Sure.
I'll just take the point of mod at this point, at least for this one. So the thing about it, what do we think about the I suppose less about the actual who we think is going to win, right? But like what happens? Like what do you think is going to happen?
They might gonna take him to sleep. Take him to Napville.
Napland. Oh man.
He's gonna take Napville. I think it's gonna go at least, I'll say about 4 rounds, 4 or 5 rounds. He's gonna last.
I'm saying first
they're
round
gonna stand
knockout.
it a little bit.
But here's the thing,
play
though.
with it a little bit, like you going out to fish. You gotta reel it in. They're gonna weigh in, hook you in, see if Jake gonna survive all the rounds. Halfway in, ding ding, he out.
We do have to remember something. There are such things as stipulations to these matches. Jake Paul put on this fight, so he makes the rules of the fight. So remember,
he really wiggled this shit. Come on,
there are caveats to this fight. I want you all to speak about it. But I'm looking up right now, but I heard about it. They are incentivizing a full round fight. Tyson gets little to no money if he knocks him out first round.
Interesting.
It is incentivized. Well, one at first they wanted to do headgear, and then two because they tried to this whole entire thing has been demeaning to Mike Tyson. I'll mention it when it gets back to me, but I'm pretty much saying I'll tell you guys later. I want to hear what you guys have to say, but I'll tell you what the stipulations or the rules of this match are. But so you think it's going to be it's pretty cut and dry, 4 or 5 rounds?
4 or 5 rounds. We'll go there.
Brent, how about you? What do you think is going to go on aside from if there's going to be any do you think there's going to be some mid card? Do you think there's going to be How do you think the fight's gonna go? And
I think that Tyson's going to embarrass him. I really do. Yesterday when he slapped him, he was just playing with him, and he showed him a little bit of his hand speed, and it's still
no.
sick. 58 years old, and that man can throw.
It doesn't go
haymakers.
away. That hand speed does not go away.
No,
No, it don't.
It's
nah.
beautiful.
And he was just toying with him,
Mhm.
and Jake called him a little bitch, and and that's not going to set well.
It wouldn't sit well to me, but at the same time, like Jake Paul's from a different world. Mike Tyson's from a place where you don't just call somebody those names. You don't call somebody out of their name and like you walk away.
Right.
But I think this internet world that Jake Paul is from, where his cousin can make fun of people deleting themselves in Japan and think that he can get away with it.
Brother.
No, I don't. I think that a rude awakening. I think this is a really important match for
Especially-
the world.
Especially since it's sanctioned. Tyson's not going to go out there and just try to
Again-
go a bunch of rounds with him. He's going to hurt him. He's going to beat him up.
That's the thing, though. He can't go a bunch of rounds with him. I don't care how in good shape Mike Tyson is.
No, I think
58
he
is
knocks
still
him out
58.
as fast as Probably,
If
probably 3 rounds knockout. I mean, I'd like to see him knock him out as soon as he comes out of the gate. That'd make my day.
I hear that.
Just embarrassing. Just
Well,
straight up embarrassing.
I'd love because it reminds me of something where did y'all ever watch? I want to get to Keith though, but did y'all ever watch
you're
Dragon
good.
Ball Z?
I have so much to
Oh,
say,
yeah.
so I'm just chilling.
Me and you both. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever seen Dragon Ball Z?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah, of
remember when
course. Yeah,
Hercule,
love that show.
Hercule the Mr. Satan as he was called, but Hercule,
Like Mr. Satan.
yeah. So do you remember when he was fighting Trunks and he was saying, "Oh, just take it easy" and all that, and Trunks didn't
Yeah.
understand because Trunks is just a kid, and he was like, "Oh, aren't you as strong as us?"
Right.
I
Right.
get that feeling about this fight. It's a feeling of like a caged bear fighting against just a cocky guy, but like tying one of his hands behind his back. That's what it just seems like.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to watch as both an actual boxer and like a boxing instructor, but also a person of color, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
Because I think they are making fun of the fact that they don't think Tyson is smart.
Right.
And
I
they just
agree
see him
with
as
you.
this brute. But the man is intelligent. You see the man talk about boxing, how he knows about angles, how he knows about body positioning, how he knows his 4 to 3, his uppercut to hook, hook to uppercut is probably the most devastating combo in the history of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
More than the Dempsey roll, more than the jab cross. Like literally he has one of the most devastating 2-punch combos. And like Keith, I want to get what you want to say, and then I'll mention a little bit of that, and then we can close. I'll mention about the stipulations as well, but go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna be the lone dissenter, and that's fine with me. I want to say that I grew up a huge Mike Tyson fan. I'm 50, so I was there for the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I saw people talk about how Mike Tyson wasn't really a boxer. He would just go in and just barrel over people, but he was so good at slipping punches to come at people the way that he did. You have to have good head movement. You know what I mean? You have to have good footwork.
Elite.
You
Yes.
cannot come at a professional boxer in that manner and not be able to move. You just can't, And if you go back with intelligence and watch his fights, the guy, you could throw a punch straight at his face and end up barely grazing the side of his head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just had such good head movement. His body work was super underrated. He knocked out oh God, I can't remember who it was. Someone in the middle of his run, he knocked him out with a hook to the ribs.
I
Yeah.
think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the guy just crumbled, dude.
He used to cripple people in that ring, like the body
Yeah,
shots.
like a lot of people thought that they could get by hugging him,
Mhm.
and you hugged him, and he would work the body the whole freaking time. You know what I mean? And just destroy people. With that being said, age is a factor in boxing.
Yeah.
And even though Jake Paul, a lot of his fights, all of his fights have been against professional athletes. a lot of them have not been against boxers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he did have a really good showing with Tommy Fury, who is good.
Tommy played with him.
He's not Mike Tyson good.
Yeah.
He's not Mike
His,
Tyson.
his son,
Mike Tyson
his
hasn't
big brother
fought.
was named after Mike Tyson. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Fair, yeah.
His bigger
Mike Tyson
brother he looks up to Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Mike Tyson hasn't fought in
since 2005.
Since 05.
Yeah,
It's against
2005.
Kevin
Yeah,
McBride.
yeah.
Kevin
Almost
McBride,
2 decades.
But
you
Kevin
know?
McBride was better than Jake Paul.
Yeah. For
Thing
sure.
is, though, that's 20 years ago.
Right,
2005
20
is
years ago.
20 years ago.
That's my whole thing, man. And Jake Paul has been and this is the thing too. So like, I hate to go into this because I feel like there's a possibility that Mike Tyson is a better person than he was back in the day. But a lot of people are like, oh, Jake Paul is this giant asshole, and that's part of the reason why they want him to lose. Mike Tyson is a convicted rapist who has said recently, I hate Desiree Washington. I wish she would die. She ruined my life. He has no remorse. And you can say, you know, I don't believe that he did it, but the forensic evidence, there was blood on those sheets. You know what I mean? Like, so Mike Tyson isn't a good guy either. You know what I mean? He's just not a giant douchebag. He's like a devil, no offense. You know what I mean? Like, and the stories that you hear about the way Mike Tyson treats women, it still hasn't really improved.
But look at the way he treats anybody. Like, remember what he said after he got out of jail to that reporter?
Yeah.
Till you love me.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, Mike Tyson is not a good dude. People who are like, oh, he's this Avenger who's going to take out this cocky kid. Mike Tyson sucks. You know, and as far as the rules go, I want to touch on that real fast too. Jake Paul said, because I'm a gigantic boxing fan, dude. I've been watching boxing. My favorite boxer of all time is Orland Norris. So
that's a good name.
Yeah. Terry Norris's older brother. You know what I mean? You
can watch him on ESPN Plus if you haven't.
Really, really had a shot, man. And then lost to freaking an old heavyweight champ. He lost the NABF. He lost the NABF North American title to somebody who was coming out of retirement, who had been a heavyweight champ like decades before. So it kind of ruined his aura. But for a while, like, they were booking Orland Norris to fight Mike Tyson. You know, he was the guy. And he just slipped off somewhere. Just, you know, it happens, man. But he was so good back in the day. Anyway, that's just me dipping into my boxing knowledge a little bit, just so you know I'm not talking on my ass. Jake Paul said that he actually wanted to fight Mike Tyson so bad that he agreed to Tyson's rules. So Tyson is like shorter rounds because he's 58. So they're doing 2-minute rounds.
8 rounds.
Heavier gloves.
Yep, heavier
14
gloves.
14 ounce instead of 10, which is ridiculous. That's a lot of extra padding.
Wow.
And you know, and the thing about the punch, so I didn't realize that he stepped on Tyson's foot. To me, it looked like he bent over to take his pants off and he just got punched in the face, like slapped in the face.
Nah, he stepped on his foot. I went back.
Okay, I didn't realize he stepped on his foot. But
and
either way, like, that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, but he stood there. He stood on.
I didn't realize that because you couldn't see the feet. You know what I mean? So I didn't realize that he had stepped on his foot. I thought he just bent over to
he actually started. Actually, he started crawling from back behind where the people were standing. And as as he got closer, whenever he stood up, he leaned forward, stepped on Tyson's foot, and he didn't move. And he came up real fast, so Tyson was already braced because the way that he come down, like almost like an uppercut motion. So Tyson just, hey, pow.
Okay, see, because I didn't. The only clip that I saw basically showed him bent over and then getting slapped as he was standing up. Context. So I didn't realize the whole setup to that. So that kind of changes my view on that part. It was really fast. He hit him fast. You know what I mean? But I
Quick
still
hands hit
feel
fast.
like Jake Paul has been fighting consistently for several years. Mike Tyson is a lot older. Age is a factor in boxing, whether you want to believe it is or not. So I think Jake Paul is probably going to win. If he doesn't win, he has a very legitimate shot at winning, which no one is giving him. That's where I'm at, dude.
By the way, shout out Orlin Norris, who actually did fight Mike Tyson as well.
Yes, he did.
Oh, did he end up getting the fight?
Do you remember? Well, you remember he got hurt his knee. Remember, and they ended up having a no contest.
Oh, yeah. He didn't come out of the corner, right?
Yeah. He couldn't.
Yeah,
he was saying he could, but he could not. So
Right.
real quick, because it's a wrestling podcast and I don't want to necessarily harp on Mike Tyson, but at the same time, Mike Tyson is a WWE Hall of Famer. So
Yeah,
same as the elected commander in chief. So we do have to kind of mention that. I'll give you the tales of the tape real quick because it's a boxing thing and we love it. Tyson 58 to Jake Paul's 27. Tyson is 50-6 with 44 knockouts. The last fight was in 2005. Last actual boxing match was against Roy Jones Jr. though, where Roy Jones pretty much just did exactly what he said. He was just gonna out jab him and pace him and stay away from him, and pretty much that's what Jake Paul, I imagine, is going to do.
He's going to have to.
If Mayweather's not the greatest boxer of all time, Roy Jones Jr. is.
I do like the Roy Jones Jr. say it's not Mayweather, but I do appreciate that. I respect, because Sweet Pea was a better defensive fighter than Floyd, if we're being honest.
Rocky Marciano is the greatest boxer of all time.
That's also a lie.
Why people always say Rocky Marciano? Rocky Marciano.
He never lost. The man never lost a fight.
So did Floyd never lost either, but I can't say he's the best
either.
He
whooped Joe Lewis's ass.
I don't care. Manny Pacquiao whooped him that fight. So
back in the day.
But money. When you got money, you can win anything.
I would have beat up Rocky Marciano. You can tell
Notre Dame fighting Irish.
Mm-hmm. So Jake Paul, Jake Paul is 6'1" to Mike Tyson's 5'10", which I believe is a lie. I don't imagine him to be any taller than 5'9". Reach advantage is definitely
clearly a hoss. Yes. He's much bigger than Tyson.
Oh yeah.
And he's been sporting that fake beer belly for some reason.
This is weird.
But I personally, like, just to preface, right, I'm not going to say I'm the biggest boxing aficionado, but I used to be one, and I used to run a boxing gym or help with a friend of mine who was also professional. And I respect boxing, especially after having been one and then teaching it to people that don't know boxing. I respect it as an art, and I find this to be it's an exploitation. It's no real easy way of saying it. It's an exploitation of every regard, and it almost makes me sick.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're all going to get what we think we're going to get, which is every single time Jake Paul fights, they think they're going to get it. Like, oh, Tyron Woodley's going to knock him out. Tyron Woodley couldn't knock me out. Like, oh, Ben Askren can't knock his own wife out.
Ben Askren can't freaking outbox MMA fighters.
He can't put his hand above this.
He's a wrestler, dude. Yeah,
yes, exactly.
That was silly.
But that's why he was doing it. But this is making a mockery. I think, like, you can think about it all he wants. And if Jake Paul takes it seriously, cool. But he is making a mockery of the sport. And to be honest, as somebody who is a gatekeeper for this sport, where I've literally bullied people into being out of it because I was like, oh, you can't do this. Like, anybody that gets in, like Tyson, right? What he mentioned actually, he was like, in an interview not too like a few days ago, he said, oh, my kids don't know me.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know me, the kind of person I am.
But they're going to know I'm special.
They don't know that I'm special. And like, that's something, the fact that this person wants to actually show again why he was special and not that he's just some circus act that they're treating him as. And they've always treated him as one. Look, he's a guy who has a lisp with a tattoo on his face. Rest in peace, Cuz D'Amato, but Cuz D'Amato would not love this.
Yeah, definitely not.
And Cuz loved Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson loved Cuz. And as soon as Cuz died, it was like the spiral that never stopped for him.
Yeah.
And we've all just wanted to laugh. They've always wanted, from Brooklyn, you don't live a good life sounding like that, being that short in Brooklyn. He had to learn how to be tough, like the life where we're from makes you tough. I find this to be a mockery of the sport, and to be honest, I would like him to get beat up, but again, the stipulations state in many ways, even though Tyson picked the weight of the gloves and all of that and stuff like that, there's clauses, and he also didn't pick the judges. Jake Paul did.
Ooh.
He also didn't pick the stipulation about what gets the pay and what gets the not pay. And he's going to put it in his favor. It's literally going to be I watched a movie of it, but in every way it just perturbs me. It's a chained up bear getting poked. Like in Space Jam. You remember in Space Jam what they said Michael Jordan would be doing if he lost? That they would just chain him and then just have him lose games. That's what they're doing with Mike Tyson. They're handcuffing him, they're chaining him up, and they're like, "Oh, come fight me, old man."
Yeah.
I'll just tear down all the heroes of the 90s. Yep.
I hope he wears him out.
I
hope so too, but I don't see somebody who couldn't even catch Roy Jones Jr. being able to catch somebody in their 20s in prime shape. I don't care how.
I'd make him come to me.
Same thing, but he has no incentive. Jake Paul has a 5-inch reach advantage.
And that's not Mike Tyson's style.
Exactly. Unless he bobs and weaves. And then
does
comes
the
Frazier. He does the Joe Frazier where he walks in and he does the U shape with his head, and he has a lot of, he's very up here, very tough, and he goes to the body, something that Jake Paul has probably never fought. He's never really fought somebody who can punch to the body right.
Right.
I mean,
and he's gonna wish he had that extra padding with that friggin' fake stomach, because when he gets hit in the stomach by somebody who knows how to hit somebody, like I've fought national champions and professional boxers, and like the things that they were doing in the ring at their 130th match with me in my 4th match, was light and day.
Yeah.
Tyson has the ring awareness. That's the difference between this fight and then the one with Roy Jones. Roy Jones Jr. has ring awareness. He has good footwork. He has a glass chin after like years and years. But, he was also in his 50s as well.
Yeah.
Paul is going to be very arrogant. I think he's going to let himself out there, and I think he's going to get caught, and he's going to get humbled.
He's going to get hurt real quick.
But I'm scared that it's not going to go that way.
Yeah.
I'm scared that what's the name's just going to get tired, because it's just a tiring thing. 2 minutes it's only 2 minutes, but being a wrestler and doing 2-minute wrestling rounds, or being 3-minute boxing, feels like forever.
Yeah.
But I hope the good guys prevail, and the good guys, I'm kind of saying Tyson, because he's standing up or I think he is. It might just be a money grab for him, or it might just be like a last hurrah for him, because he realizes. But at the same time, it does nothing for boxing. I didn't like it since the first Logan Paul KSI, and I used to watch KSI too. I stopped, and I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And then it started with like Blueface was starting to fight, and I was like, content creators, I'm like, get out of the ring. Like, stop this. Why is Blueface? He should have been Redface, because I would have punched the skin off his face. Paul, you Redface now.
Yeah, I will say that everything that Jake Paul does is disrespectful. That is, that's kind of his brand.
Who he is.
Exactly. It's him and Logan. Logan's trying to push it back because he realized he can't go to Japan anymore. So there's actually ramifications to your actions. But this is literally a Gen Z humbling.
Right.
Versus like that's what this really is. Everybody wants to see the humbling. But the same thing with Floyd Mayweather. Everybody wanted him to be humble, but it just wouldn't happen.
Man,
Conor McGregor's a cock, so
he's gotten humbled. Conor McGregor's human.
Yeah.
I watched him fight Pacquiao, and Pacquiao beat his ass. His ass. I don't care what.
I thought Pacquiao won that fight too, man. I thought he won that fight too.
I thought Castillo beat the crap out of Floyd Mayweather. He shouldn't have been
defeated
anyway. The first time Castillo fought him, made him look like a mess. Made him look like a Picasso.
Yep.
So like you said, this isn't a boxing podcast, but did you guys see when Canelo Alvarez was coming up?
Canelo? Yeah.
Yeah, he looked unbeatable until he fought Mayweather. That fight kind of sold me on Mayweather. Yeah.
Mayweather showed him. He was like, okay, you're used to being bigger than everybody. Yeah. Or you're used to being stronger, but are you used to being faster?
Right.
That's all it was.
Yeah, he
it
made
was
Canelo look ridiculous, man. And I like not just me. I was watching that with a whole house full of people who thought Canelo was going to win
I
because
was
they set
watching
it up
that
like
in
he was going
a mansion full of people, and we were.
to.
I
Well,
was telling people about it. It was before I was a boxer too. It was funny.
that's fire, dude.
Yeah,
I
I
was
was
not in a
explaining
mansion.
it.
I was just in a little, little house. But we definitely thought he had the shot, But
Oh, the person that I was at the house with, they also had a little house, but it was their third guest house.
nice. It wasn't Diddy, was it? No
No,
baby
but
oil present.
But if you say they also go by one word, one name, so yeah, pretty much.
Interesting.
By the way,
But
we don't appreciate Diddy on this side.
no, that
Yeah,
is not.
no, not at all.
I did not
No
follow
oil.
my dream of music in New York for one reason and one reason only. I knew what was going on over there.
Oof.
Back to wrestling.
So can I just say one more thing that I wanted to say about the
Skibbity
disrespect stuff?
wrestling. Okay.
Okay. Just one last thing. When he
Okay.
got smacked in the face and then put on a character instead of legitimately responding to that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, it shows
Like,
you
dude,
the kind of person they are.
Smacked in the face, and you're going, "Oh, I'm gonna murder him."
He's like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, come on, man.
Because it's all show. It's all a show.
Yeah.
That's what content creators think. Everything is a show until it's life. And
Until
they're
he
like,
gets-
"Whoa, bro, I'm kidding. Whoa."
until he gets punched in the
I
face.
didn't actually
Yeah.
steal your phone. I just ran 5 blocks with it. I was going to give it back after the 10th block, but gosh.
My son watches this content creator who goes to like either Blood or Crip neighborhoods and wears the opposite colors.
Oh gosh.
Mhm.
And people have pulled guns on this dude.
Oh no, I've seen that too. Yeah, that's natural
Yeah.
selection. I don't appreciate that, but if
What are you doing, man?
Yeah, that's kind of dumb. Why would you
well,
do
remember
that?
there's been certain shows and like remember there was that one where they went onto the Breakfast Club and Breakfast Club was like, why do you keep going to impoverished neighborhoods or places like that, like specifically where certain people are? And like, why do you keep bothering them, but you're not going out to certain places and bothering other people? Which is pretty much they were just saying it was like a classism thing where they were just kind of picking on people that were like either.
Yeah.
And it was like, but that's the thing about it, It's like it's exploitation, but if the person is taking money for it, then is it really? Because I'm saying Tyson's getting exploited for being, this tied up old 50-year-old man that used to be a boxer in his heyday, and he's fighting somebody who's 30 years younger than him.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I hope he prevails, but like you said, are any of them really worth following and worth rooting for?
Right.
It's here for the spectacle.
What was so I just want to jump completely.
Yeah, let's do some other stuff, man.
Completely off of boxing at first.
Yeah, here we go.
We could do a whole another hour on this, and
I know.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Pablo. Since you kicked us off on that, let's.
You want to host the next portion of things?
I don't see why not. Yeah, I don't want to just leave it to Keith because Keith the last few days has been bringing up the stuff and all of that, and I was like, yeah, let's get some reaction from Brent. You sent me on the thingity thing, right?
Yeah, should be. I can see.
Should be there somewhere.
Here, I can.
Well, one thing I want to say, just one random thing while I'm looking up, which was y'all's favorite company this week?
Oh, mine's always NXT.
I thought NXT did a really good job. Yeah.
Dang, that's a sweep.
Right. NXT's on top until proved otherwise.
Yeah, NXT's been.
That was the quickest roundtable right there. All right, so the next one. So what we wanted to bring up is that brand new title announcement is that WWE has announced their first ever women's mid-card title. It is the Women's WWE United States Championship.
Right.
Right. And is it on one specific brand, I guess?
I think SmackDown.
Yeah,
SmackDown?
I think SmackDown too.
Yeah.
So it's because SmackDown has LA Knight and the US title, so granted. One, does this lead to there being a women's intercontinental title?
Yes.
And two, how do we feel about there being another title in WWE? I'll start.
Well,
Let me start because I started with D'Lo before. Let me start with Keith, and then we'll go counterclockwise this way.
They finally
Sweet.
listening, yes. So
Yeah.
I'm with it. And they got all these women coming up to NXT. Might as
Oh, there's
well.
gonna be so many. Yeah, but let me go. I'm gonna go to Keith first, and then I'll get to yeah.
Okay, so they actually, I didn't read the article. I just read the headline, and you know how headlines can be misleading.
Mhm.
But it did. Someone within the company said that the United States title will not lead to an Intercontinental title. That they're
Okay.
just so, which seems a little odd because there are women wrestlers on both brands. If this is just going to stick to SmackDown,
Yeah.
so that's interesting. Maybe Tiffany Stratton will fail in her cash in and end up getting the United States title as a consolation prize.
Try to
I
pull
don't
off some theories.
I don't like it when there's so many titles. That's one of my big things about the brand split. Like
Yeah.
there's so many titles. But at the same time, the women, deserve some recognition and having something that shows who is the number one contender is always cool. And that's the secondary title has always been the automatic number one contender, at least in my mind, traditionally. So
But a lot of times there is no melding. That's the weird thing about it, is because I always
yeah,
seen it as that too. It's like, oh, you're the second best. It's like, no, you're like the sixth behind the five people vying for the WWE Championship.
Right.
yeah.
That's what mid
Fortunately,
cards kind of feel now. Because back then,
yeah,
when Ultimate Warrior was the champion, yeah, you didn't look at him in a Hulk and be like, oh, Hulk is this much bigger. He's in this rung. But when you look
right.
at nowadays and you're like, okay, LA Knight has the US championship, or like a Ricochet has the US championship when Triple H is WWE champion or something like that. And you're like, okay,
Yeah.
there's an obvious difference.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit
But
of
I
a
do feel
hierarchy.
like the gap between LA Knight and Cody Rhodes isn't huge. You know what I mean?
It's a bit astronomical considering how
You
much
think?
they've built Cody. Considering nobody's been able to touch the guys, and he just beat Solo in a dark match, or he beat Jacob in a dark match like a few weeks
Yeah,
ago. Like he's
yeah.
unstoppable because Jacob was the most unstoppable force,
Well,
and
they
then
have to
Cody
make
beat
him
him.
unstoppable.
So,
He beat.
but yeah, we can't like.
The solo thing.
I could even say that uh Gunther and LA Knight are closer. But no, I think the way that they've always built like this John Cena-esque, Hulk Hogan-esque,
Yeah.
there's
Right.
always Cody Rhodes can do no wrong. It's Cody Rhodes and then Cody Rhodes's left brain, and then like everybody else. It's like,
Yeah.
or then whoever's facing him. And
Right.
then like six names down is the Intercontinental Champion. That's what it seems like.
I mean that makes sense.
Mhm. So Brent, let
I
me
guess just my little kid brain, still
yeah.
equates that belt as the number one contender.
Real quick. So if you guys recall, several months ago, back on the other show,
Mhm.
I mentioned this.
Yeah.
I mentioned this.
Yeah.
Women's Intercontinental and women's U.S. titles coming into play.
Yeah.
So we finally get our U.S. title. They have to give a Intercontinental title and put it on Raw. I mean, it only makes sense.
You would think, yeah.
Well, unless you just get
been
that issue with the
confirmed
Cruiserweight Championship. Remember the Cruiserweight Championship was only on one side, and then it pretty much just
Triple H confirmed that there was going to be two titles.
Did he? Okay.
Just one came out before the other.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's basically, I guess, what they're doing. So I guess we'll see the next one come maybe next week or the week after or something. But yeah, back then, whenever I first brought this article to light, it was confirmed that they had approved both.
Okay,
And that's why you don't trust internet headlines.
Yeah,
not always.
You gotta read, man.
Exactly.
Always
Always read.
read.
D'Lo, what do you think about the on both of those things? So you assume that there'll be a women's IC?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure,
definitely, for sure.
Right. I feel like it would only make sense. Yeah, it would be highly non-inclusive to have it only on
How
one
would you
side.
present it though? Would you present? I thought the idea of a weird one present the Royal Rumble in the type of way. The Royal Rumble winner gets the championship. I thought about that because it's happened before. The title's been on the line, but I know it's world champion.
Right.
I thought that. But
I get what you're saying. So you're saying that whoever wins this Royal Rumble, they're gonna get the shot, but also the title. Is that what you mean? Okay,
Yeah.
I hear you.
Trying to do both.
I think that would put too much onus on the Royal Rumble on that specific title, though. But I do like that because it would give more incentive.
You see a lot of good girls.
I think they should give it to Dakota Kai as incentive to not get hurt again.
Well, here's another.
Be careful. Yeah. That's the thing.
But here's another thing. Like, it's pretty obvious who are going to be the ones going for this belt, right?
Yes.
Like, it's not going to be Jade and Bianca.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Who supposedly hate each other.
Segue, actually.
Yeah.
So apparently, I don't know the source. Is there but
the source is people backstage. It's Coach.
Coachman.
Coach said it.
Okay. We do trust Coach over here. He is a Connecticut long-standing guy and fellow light skin with bald hair. That's the case.
Very light-skinned brothers.
Well noted and his WWE historian Jonathan Coachman, aka the guy who The Rock would pick on every week.
Yeah.
He states that Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill do not like each other in real life, which would not be that much of an issue. However, they happen to be two-time tag champions together. So we obviously knew at some point there was going to be a separation because the only reason you bring people like this together is to separate them and to find a clear winner, which I don't imagine that they're going to make Jade lose to Bianca, but I don't know how any of us real fans could ever see Jade beating Bianca. But how do we feel about the fact that they don't actually like working with each other, but they're seen out with each other?
That's what I think too. Like, I don't know.
D-Lo, yeah. D-Lo, you go first.
Like, they did, like, I know Bianca does gear, but she trusted her with the gear too, I think a couple times before. So I'm like, I look at kind of wrestling gear like kind of like I do with our haircuts. Like, that's very valuable. Like, they don't trust anybody. They got their own special guys or girls, whatever they do. So I'm like, I'll take that with a grain of salt from the Coach. I'll take that with a grain of salt and with a vodka shot. But you never know. In competitive back the way it is. Hey.
It could be just a straight competition thing. Like she's like, oh, you're coming for my spot. It's like, oh, you're like, oh, you're just the same thing as me. Or she could just be like, hey, I carry you every match.
That's what it's all about right there.
So you, Brent, I'll go to hop on that.
So was that EST Funko Pop?
That's funny.
So like
that's what I thought it was.
What Coach said, what Coach is saying is Bianca doesn't like the fact that she has to help elevate her.
Usher in. Yeah, okay, I got you.
Because she's already been at the top.
Yeah, that's true.
So she don't like the fact that that WWE is making her help elevate Jade's career.
But I think we all knew that, though. Like, we all knew the reason why Jade was coming in was like that.
You know?
Well, but it's also, this is different. Wouldn't you say that this is a bit different? Because this is not even just like a whole hand holding. This is like a permanent, like, escort mission.
Yeah.
Like, we're just like, oh, here's this person that's just kind of clunky. And, like, we want to hide her inexperience. But she's also too big and menacing to face Roxanne and actually make it look realistic. Shout out to Bianca Belair's Funko Pop making an appearance. All right, but yeah, I agree. Now hearing that, Keith, how do you feel about this whole IRL situation?
Okay, so now that I'm talking and it'll put the camera on me, what's up? This pop is so dope. The hair is amazing.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels back too.
Yeah. So, and the little lips on the freaking on the gear look so cool. Anyway, so anyway, it's funny because the article that I read presented it like Coach was in the WWE right now. Coach has not been in the WWE for a long time.
Long time.
I'm sure that he has friends who are still with the company who are maybe telling him stuff that's going on.
Imagine be hearsay, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing, like, obviously, when you've been the world champion, you know, and you've been wrestling
Becky Lynch at WrestleMania
Yeah,
and Charlotte Flair.
Should be fighting Rhea and all these
Yeah,
people.
you're not gonna be happy with being in a tag team, and you know, unless it's years later. You know, like
taking clean pins by Io.
Yeah, she's still in the prime of her career. You know what I mean? So, so I can see there being some resentment. You know,
yeah,
but they do actually genuinely seem to be friends.
Yeah.
So
I remember people could put on a mask and work.
Fair.
So I act like I really like the guy that I work with.
Look at Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle.
Yeah. Well, though Seth Rollins never really acted like he liked Matt Riddle, though.
He don't, but he worked with him just for the sake of business. But
sure, but I mean, he was like, you know, I'm talking about like Bianca and Jade will like
friends.
We'll hang out, you know, go, you know, hang out and visit touristy places together when they're in other countries and stuff like that. So why would you just do that with someone unless it's publicity, you know? Well, but that's not necessary.
Right. So, I can also mention this, right?
Yeah.
We've already heard a few instances when this happens. I'll give you one that's not wrestling, and then I'll give you one that's wrestling. The girl Morena Baccarin from Deadpool. She does not like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Not only that, she hated kissing him. Didn't look like it, though. Didn't look like it. Liv Morgan,
it's acting, man. Yeah.
They talk about Liv Morgan not liking being around Dom all the time, but she's always at public places with Dom.
With but that's the thing. In said pocket.
That was a bandana, dude.
The bandana, right? That's a bandana.
Well, and if you remember, Dolph Ziggler and Lana like traveled the world and made out when they were doing their angle.
Yeah.
So you know, but my thing is, I could see there being a professional dislike of the position.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, though. Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels didn't like each other. They hung out because they were like the only people who could stand them.
That's what I'm saying.
Constantly. The Eliminators, Perry Saturn did not like John Cronus because he thought John Cronus was a screw up. He was drunk all the time and he was always getting fights and you know. So liking your tag team partner, like not everybody's the Road Warriors. You know, not everybody's the Rock and Roll Express. Not everybody is the Bobby and Stan Lane. Yeah, not everybody's Demolition. Like, I don't know how well they got along, but I'm trying to think of people who I actually, you know, heard stories about them, you know, really being like brothers.
Shout out to Demolition. Smash was from Robbinsdale, Minnesota.
Yes, he was trained by the guy who trained all the Minnesota guys.
Same 1976 class he graduated with Rick Rude.
Yeah.
Mr. Perfect. Yeah. And friggin' oh my goodness, there's so many names on there.
Crazy stuff. But
shout out Minnesota.
Yeah, they all went to high school together. It's so insane.
Class of 76, Robbinsdale.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
but I was gonna say you don't have to like each other to be a good tag team, obviously.
Right. But you have to be a good tag team.
They're not a very good tag. Yeah.
But that's the thing. But I want to this is the most important thing about this, right? Is that we all know that there's going to be a turning, right? There's going to be
it's coming.
One, I want us to call it, and two, are they the champions still when they do it?
Yes, I say they will be champions when they do it.
I think it happens during the Royal Rumble, and Jade throws her by her hair into the front row.
No,
she's that strong. She's that strong. Jade is She-Hulk.
I think Bianca turned.
Spin her around like the Cesaro swing by her hair.
I'm
throw her into the front row onto the neon green guy that's always there. And then he's going to get an injury, and then he's not going to be there, and then WWE's going to fall apart.
Bianca heel turn. I'm calling it.
Really?
Me too.
It would make more sense for Bianca to turn heel because then she could lead the matches.
That's right.
But also subsequent heel turn with Montez because Montez looks like if he loses, it's over.
Oh, hey now.
It might be. So I was thinking that it would be a Jade one. I was thinking a Jade heel turn, but no, actually the Bianca one I would actually really like because kind of the same thing. Do you all remember when Naomi went heel and then Total Divas was going on and how uncomfortable she was?
Yep.
I feel like we
Remember
might
that?
get that with Bianca, but I think that she could pull it off. If she was able to pull it off, she could be the best heel champion we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
I
She was
agree.
doing NXT before, so heck yeah.
Yeah.
No, she was
And I
like
mean,
the
the
best.
EST,
Yeah, all
the
that.
EST is a cocky gimmick. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
it
So you could
is. It is.
totally be heel with it. You know?
And what she should do is she'd be like, "Yeah, I am the strongest." And
Yeah.
anybody that steps up to me, even my tag partner, like she tried to posture up on me and tried to outdo me at the Royal Rumble because she picked up Nia Jax with Tiffany Stratton on her back and threw her into the rafters, into the cheap seats. I think they're just gonna do
kinda
that. They're
tired
just
of that
gonna
spot.
during the
Jakara
Royal
Jackson.
Rumble, they're just gonna pick up different women and just throw them over and be like, "Now you
Yep.
do it." And then they're gonna
Yeah.
get the Nia.
I'm better than you.
Yeah.
That
I'm
anything you
tired
can
of the
do, I
picking
can
up
do
two
better
chicks
thing.
at the same time spot though. Jakara Jackson always looks like those girls are hanging on for dear life.
Hey,
She
Yeah.
never looks like she's actually holding them.
first of all, if you're able to pick up two girls at the same time, then you are a Chad. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah.
Somebody who's done it before, like you got to be really on top of your game because you got to give them both the same amount of attention. Never mind. All right.
Hey, you want to something to
So,
that?
speaking of fans being really annoying, Ricochet has been making what seems to be all the wrong moves in his new home. So there was a bit of an issue, a bit of a spat. I'd heard about it as well, but I'm not entirely sure where it came from. But Brent, I want to go to you first because you hadn't gone first yet. What do you think about I guess speak a little bit about Trevor's issue with the fans.
Well, it came actually from Twitter.
Mhm.
And it was his Twitter. So
Yes.
and I mean he absolutely dogged the fans.
But was there anything that led up to it, or is it just like nonstop, like about Samantha, or is it about him being bad on the mic?
It has a lot to do with Samantha and how the fans were like treating her,
Mhm.
but also the part where he was getting bashed by like not being able to cut promos and stuff.
Oh, you mean for not doing your job right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
I
don't
mean,
you hate when people are like, "Hey, do your job better," and
Yeah.
then you're like, "Wait, but why?" It was like, "Oh, because it's your job. And you should do better." Don't you hate when people? Don't you hate when your boss is like that and then he fires you? How unfair is that?
Yeah, it's not cool.
Like, what the heck? Who are you? So, Brent, how do you feel about maybe in general?
In
Do
general,
you think
I mean,
that they're interacting with fans too much? Do you think that there's an issue going on? Like, is there going to be some ramifications to his seemingly inevitable push?
I think so because I mean, I'm not going to disagree with some of the stuff that he said because he made some valid points. I mean, but at the same time, man, you're
I'll bring it up for reference.
Yeah, you're a professional and you need to play it cool. You need to do your job, like you said, and get better on a mic if you don't like how people talk about you or bash you because you're not a complete package. I mean, you're a fantastic wrestler. But you can't talk. I mean,
but he's been doing it to himself, getting in back and
forth.
He was talking to a few I have for context he was talking about he messaged well there was a few, but one I was looking at specifically is that somebody mentioned bro has been jobbing for 21 years replying to King Ricochet, and then he was like, "It's really true though, ha ha ha." I was like, maybe there was a reason why Prince Puma was better than Ricochet.
Prince Puma all day, man.
Well, he is from Paducah, Kentucky. I mean, it is pretty redneck there.
There's some squares. Exactly.
Paducah, Kentucky.
He was built out of Kentucky his whole entire exactly.
Hey,
Can we say something right?
No, I heard 2 different towns this year.
Ricochet is
he's definitely from Paducah.
Yeah,
Paducah,
he's a bit corny. He's Russell Wilson with a hot wife. He's just. I'm sorry, Ricochet is corny. He's corny. He's cornball Bailey.
Russ better. Fuck that.
You look like Jonathan Coachman, so obviously you get the baddies. But at the same time, though, it doesn't mean that you're good on the mic.
Right.
Doesn't mean that if I give you my Tinder account that you can bag anybody.
And I'm allowed. Hey, I'm allowed
man.
to talk about Kentucky because they're right next door to me. I'm in
Mhm.
West Virginia, and if anybody knows rednecks, it's me.
Hey, now.
I'm allowed to talk about Kentucky because I have a beard, and you can't tell
I'm allowed
anybody
to
with a
talk
beard what
about
to
Kentucky because America.
do. America,
America.
heck yeah.
But I think he was a little out of line. I mean, some of the things was valid, but like I said, he was a little out of line. He needs to watch what he says, really, before
Yeah.
one of the fans takes it the wrong way. You know, we've seen it happen with Seth Rollins. Fans freaking attack you.
But here's the thing, right? If you say these things, one, right, you validate them.
Mm-hmm.
So if he answers to the fans, like when Kevin Durant would have his ghost account and be talking about, he's like, yeah, man, you know, Slim Reaper's that guy and all that. Yeah, but like Ricochet has to realize, like, you can't bite the bait like that, because one, you legitimize it, and then two, you're getting in trouble with your company. The other guy's not going to get in trouble with his company. McDonald's doesn't care that this guy's making this statement.
Right.
Let's be honest. So like if my example, right? I work a food truck. If somebody gives me a negative review and I just throw it in their face on the thing, all they're going to see is, oh, this person is just a spiteful food truck guy. They're not going to say, oh, that what a horrible guy to wake up in the day and talk about how big the pineapples are on the pizza.
Yeah,
Right.
It's his job to be professional, you know, like, you know, D-Lo, how do you feel about people being professional on social media?
Well, pineapple on pizza is criminal, so that's the first thing.
Ah.
But,
Keith, how about you now? Let's
I said it as a person that's allergic to pineapple. I say that as a person that's allergic to it.
Okay, all right.
Criminal. But on the Ricochet, yeah, he got to embrace being a heel, man, because he has the annoyance of being a heel, but does not want to be a heel.
Mm-hmm.
He got the voice of it like the Miz. Like, he can be annoying. I feel he can be annoying heel.
He's annoying, yeah.
He could be an annoying
For sure.
heel. He just got to embrace it, but I don't think he want to embrace it. He want to do the cool shit, the fly cool shit.
So can we before I mention, I want to preface something real quick, Keith, so maybe you think about it, right? Because we already talked about how we feel about it, right? I want to add something into it. We could probably kill two birds with one stone by making Samantha Irvin his manager.
Yeah, that might
I
as well.
said that
might as well.
a while back.
Yeah,
even though I don't think she'd be good at it, but
No,
Keith,
she wouldn't.
go ahead.
Nah, just be a ring announcer and then like Ricochet, and they just copy.
I don't think anything about her being a manager. No disrespect to her. I'm sure she could do anything she puts her mind to. Just not that.
Yeah, not a manager. No.
Keith, I'm sorry.
No worries. And yeah, I'm not even gonna do it, dude. I was gonna try to play up like the horny old man thing for the whole podcast, but I've decided to, because I was gonna be like, you know, what she could do is give me a call. But because
I'm better than the mic than Prince Puma.
Hey now,
baby.
But so I personally think this is a work, to be completely honest, because
really,
yeah, because
like a Drew McIntyre type thing.
Yeah, because the post that started the whole thing, he made a post that said, "You guys thought that I was awesome." I'm paraphrasing, but you guys thought I was awesome in WWE, and now that I've switched to AEW, everyone hates me. That's going to instigate things, and it totally plays into what he's doing on TV. So
it makes himself seem like the victim too.
Yeah, I think it's work, dude, and that's kind of what they're doing. I don't know if you've seen their promos with his little group, but that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, we've been victimized, and it's our time to freaking, you know, come out there and kick some ass. Like, that's sort of their thing.
Can I ask, who is that group that you're referencing?
Oh, dude, I don't know enough about AEW to know. It's him, Ospreay, a really big dude, and a black dude. Sorry, that's Ricochet's crew.
Is it Hobbs? Because Hobbs,
yes.
Hobbs, I was gonna say Hobbs did that tag team match with against Fletcher with him.
It's Ricochet, Ospreay, Hobbs, dude, and I know the other guy, but it's four guys, and their whole thing is like they're out to freaking prove themselves and to beat people up. Like, that's, and the promo.
I wonder where I've heard that before.
Hey now. And the promo that Ricochet cut during their little backstage thing where they kind of solidified their partnership was really good, honestly.
Okay.
And that is my thing about this too. Wrestling fans have a tendency, and I talked about this in one of our group chats. But wrestling fans have a tendency, like if you do something wrong once, and people in real life do this too, but you've always done it wrong and you're terrible at it.
Oh yeah, they'll crucify you for it.
Yeah, and you suck. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you made this one kind of crappy promo, so you're the worst wrestler in the world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It just that's one crappy thing, about internet wrestling fans and wrestling fans kind of in general, but a lot more like internet wrestling.
You're
fans.
only as good as your worst promo in a lot of people's cases.
Right.
Facts.
Ricochet is
it's unforgiving, but at the same
the
time,
dude did flippy dippy stuff in a suit, man. You know what I mean? Like Ricochet is so good and so precise and so smooth.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like this whole thing on Twitter is gimmick. It plays exactly into what he's doing on TV. And I could be completely wrong. Maybe he's a sensitive little girl, but
if I'm being honest, as somebody who's listened to Drake in high school, I can tell you that I think Ricochet might just be in his feelings.
Yeah, it's possible.
Cups of the rose. Women on my old phone. Should call one and go home.
But there's nothing
trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor.
Oh, they not like us. Oh, okay. That's going to be another speak. But we won't talk about the fact that Lil Wayne ruined WrestleMania second night. I will talk about the fact that Triple H has okayed a wrestler to be in an indie promotion. Not only just so Bloodsport, Carmen Petrovic is in it.
Ooh.
And MVP Josh Barnett is going to be the main event, which is a really good Bloodsport main event. If you know anything about Josh Barnett or MVP.
Love Josh Barnett, yeah.
MVP, very good in the jiu-jitsu field. Very solid.
Violence.
Yeah. Josh Barnett destroyed a promotion by doing steroids, though.
Yes, the heck he did.
Yeah.
But Triple H signed off on Braun to be in the GLCW event.
Yeah.
So
cool.
John is he's rent a monster though, because I think Braun has always been that one that you can just kind of ship out and just do stuff. Right. It's not like he's doing anything in WWE, but do we think that this is going to? Do we bring this up because we think it's going to be something that's going to persist? Is that?
May I?
Yes, go ahead, brother.
Okay, so with this WWE ID thing, I think that it'll be more prevalent that we do see more wrestlers doing stuff in the indies. And as far as he goes, the match that he is actually going to be a referee.
Okay.
For the Santino Marella and Damian Sandow versus the newest Rockers.
I do like that.
Al Snow.
Having seen that, I do like that pairing. Santino, some of the two best comedic wrestlers together.
Yeah, what the heck?
Also, he's not going by Aaron Stevens anymore. He's going by Damian Sandow.
Yeah.
Is he Sandow again?
Nice. He went back.
Apparently for this one, yeah. No, he's still in NWA. I'm pretty sure he's still Aaron Stevens, but I believe Aaron for this Stevens, event. Yeah. For this event, because it's booked as two former WWE wrestlers. So
right.
That's nice.
I think
and Triple H did. He signed off on it personally, so it's pretty awesome, actually.
I actually think that just mentioning that, I think we should get into that WWE ID. We should talk a bit about it. Does anybody want to explain? Sure. Because you mentioned it just right now. Does anybody want to go into depth and explain WWE ID for somebody who doesn't?
Well, we talked about it last week some, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But basically WWID is there's 5 wrestling schools.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
5 wrestling schools that are going to be their trainees are going to be looked at by WWE. They're being sponsored by WWE. Yeah. They're getting better training at the schools. I'm really surprised that Pritchard and Jacobs isn't involved in that, but maybe down the road. But then on top of that, WWE is also reaching out to indie talent that they think have potential to get to the company. It's kind of like the NIL, but for independent wrestlers. And they're going to help these wrestlers get better training, better gear. better pay.
Okay. So I say that to say, is this Braun Strowman appearance direct link because is GLCW, do they have some talent that WWE's looking at, or?
So Dave Hero, GLCW's been around for a really long time. This is Great Lake Championship Wrestling, right? I want to make sure that it's the right promotion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So Dave Hero, who runs GLCW, has been doing this forever. And he puts on these giant shows. Blizzard Brawl.
That's what it is.
Blizzard Brawl has been a tradition in Milwaukee for Wisconsin for a really, really long time. And he always brings in big names for that, like TNA guys. I honestly think he's used WWE guys before who weren't under exclusive contracts. Like he's had Tommy Dreamer on there when he was signed to WWE but could work outside shows. So it's very, very possible. Like there's probably a lot of talent on that show that WWE would be interested in looking at. Because Blizzard Brawl is a really big deal. And I'm not sure how many he's done, but I want to say it's got to be close to 20 by now. Like he's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I believe his son Cal is the champion there now.
Is he?
No. I believe Cal Hero. He's the one that I know specifically from there that I've been following.
Okay.
So WWE ID, they just announced a few new people. Let me say the names. First on there is Zeta Steel. I'm just gonna name all of these and then we can talk about ones that we find to be popping out to us. Zeta Steel is one. We also mentioned the aforementioned Bryce Donovan from last week we mentioned. Cappuccino Jones, the most caffeinated wrestler. Jack Cartwheel, who I believe is going by a different name, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
Jack Summit, I believe. Is that what it's
going
to be?
Yeah, I think so. Jack Summit.
Okay. Zara Zucker. And then the last one is Sean Legacy. So those are these 6.
Oh, there was more than that. They signed Mathers to a contract too.
Do they actually?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
To an ID. Yeah,
to an ID. His name, guy named Mathers? Is that what the name was?
It's Marcus Mathers. He works for the Intergender Bonanza.
Okay, because I remember there's a wrestler called like a boy named Mathers or something like that.
That's a guy named. What is that guy's name? It's not Mathers.
Manders?
It's something else. I think.
Close to that.
Yeah,
Manders. Guy named Manders.
Okay, no, I'm getting that wrong.
Marcus Mathers.
Okay, yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is Sam Holloway.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Summit.
Yeah.
There, it's Gal. And Ice Williams.
Ice Williams, the coldest wrestler in the game.
And that rounds it up.
Yeah, I was going to say they signed. So Mathers is really good. He's been on the radar for a long time.
So is Legacy.
Yeah, and Cartwheel too. I think everybody, as soon as they saw the stuff that Cartwheel did, at least I figured he was going to get signed at some point.
We had spoken about him in an earlier show.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I remember him. I think we did an indie spotlight on him one time.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so Marcus Mathers is very good. They've been looking at him for a while, from what I understand. So it's not
they're all
surprising.
Specifically, is this that same one where they would take from other, like kind of how they did with the Twins, where they were taking from different sports and bringing them into wrestling? Is that kind of the same thing that they're doing now?
Yeah, it's that, but it's for independent wrestlers.
Oh, so it's instead.
Yeah.
Okay. So
this is specifically it's the NIL, but just for independent wrestlers.
Yeah, and the 5 companies that are involved in this is and I figure there will be more added as this gets bigger.
I imagine.
But, Reality of Wrestling,
right?
Of course, Booker T.
Elite Pro Wrestling.
Yeah,
right.
Of course, the Nightmare Factory.
Yeah,
Nightmare Factory. Yeah.
Knockout Pro.
Right.
Okay.
And then Black and Brave Wrestling Academy.
Right. Which is why I don't understand why Jacobs and Pritchard aren't involved. They're pumping out really good wrestlers, and you've got Seth Rollins' school, you've got Booker T's school, and you've got Cody Rhodes' school. Why isn't Kane and Tom Pritchard's school in there? It's weird. I thought for sure that they would be a shoo-in, but yeah, either way, like Zeta Steel has been a star from the second she stepped in the ring.
Yeah.
We talked about this last week, man. CZW pumps out good talent, dude. Like,
Yep.
say
Yes,
what
they
you
do.
want about their shows and their style of wrestling. Their school is fire.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's just
But
like Bryce Donovan, man. He's gonna be a star.
Yeah, Bryce Donovan too. But I like Mathers. If you haven't seen Mathers, like I said, he's been on their radar for a long time. He wrestles on Stan Styles Intergender Bonanza every single show. So he's I could see him going through it.
Shout out. I like.
Yeah.
So I'm So the
Congrats
future is
all.
bright with these companies, and the fact that more NIL type deals, more looking for talent and grooming talent. It's a good thing. Will lead to a lot of, even though we are already swimming in talent, they don't have enough time for Raw
Yeah.
and all that. Speaking of not having enough time for Raw and SmackDown and all that stuff, we're going to have to start mentioning some of these matches or some of these shows.
Yeah.
I would like to say. So I can rattle off some of the results unless somebody else wants to be the rambler for this one.
No, go for it. Yeah.
I would.
Got you. All right. So I'll mention these results and then we can kind of talk about what stands out just for a little bit. So Raw happened, right?
Mhm.
And granted, this is the second week of November, so we're going off of that. Damage Control beats Pure Fusion Collective.
Yeah, they did.
Six woman tag.
Yep.
Pete Dunne defeated Kofi Kingston.
Sad face.
It looks like it gives another story to that potential breakup. Damian Priest defeats Ludwig Kaiser because, when you're fighting for somebody's title, you have to beat up their constituents. In this case, Ludwig Kaiser was asking for the beatdown, and then he got it. So wonderful. And then the champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, beat Clean, I believe.
Hell yeah, Queen. Hell yeah.
Pinned the
Yes,
champion,
Queen.
Liv Morgan and Raquel
Yes, Queen.
Rodriguez, her bodyguard.
There was quite a bit of interference in that match.
For the most part, though, on their side.
Yeah.
Was it really? Yeah. So of those four main topics on Raw, I would say, obviously they're leading to eventual, storylines, maybe with Liv and Raquel getting back their titles because, it circled back to the fact that they lost their titles because Raquel was hurt, I believe.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you think about Raw really quick? I'm going to go, Keith, how do you feel about how Raw was?
Well, I think we've already expressed my joy that Dakota Kai is back. I like Dakota Kai a lot. I like how awkward she looks in the ring. I know that sounds weird, but her style is so off.
Very awkward, like a baby deer.
It's just I don't know. I think it fits her personality. I don't know. I just dig it, and so that's really cool.
If I do have to preface though, Damage Control being Kairi Sane, Io Sky, and the returning Dakota Kai. It wasn't Asuka. It wasn't Bailey. I just
and I don't know if you guys noticed the extra flexing that she did of her knee during the entrance, like when she was on the ring apron. She was definitely bouncing it around, like even though it's braced, she's like, I'm good. So that was cool.
Good,
yeah. Kathy Kelly was obviously very happy that Dakota was back. Maybe this will lead to Damage Control not getting beat up so much, even though Dakota Kai isn't exactly a powerhouse. At least they've got some members now.
But then who's supposed to make Piper Niven look strong?
Can't Piper Niven look strong anyway? She's like a 250-pound chick who moves like a freaking cruiserweight.
That's the funny thing, right?
Right.
You don't have to make somebody look strong that already is strong. But remember, WWE always has to make the really strong people look even stronger.
look at her and you're like, hey, that chick is strong. Look how fast she runs. And then she just did a springboard moonsault. You know, like, come on, man. You know?
Congratulations to Excalibur.
And if I could say, she's pretty hot, man.
That's why I said congratulations to Excalibur.
Yeah, go Excalibur.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
of Soul Eater.
As always, I feel like the women are the spotlight. You know,
they carried the show.
They definitely did.
Yeah.
Speaking of the other one, what important happened? If I could, what do you think important happened that was getting what we're getting out of this tag match we had between Bianca and Jade and the champion?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like, I don't really understand the world champion going for the tag titles, but they did the same thing with Austin and Shawn Michaels and stuff like that, except so it's something that WWE obviously likes to do.
Oh, Triple H and Stone Cold.
Yeah,
right? Where they're intercontinental, and then we had the powers. Yeah.
Right. So they do like to do that kind of stuff. I mean, going all the way back to Pedro Morales. You know.
So is that the case? Are they going to do it for Liv, or are they doing it for Bianca? Because Bianca already has a set of titles.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe Jade goes after the US one. Bianca they just become an oppressive force.
The belts. Yeah.
All the belts.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Just let them do it. Why not?
Right.
Brent, do you think there was anything important to take from what did you take from this? Keith's main deal was that he is a big Dakota Kai stan, so he was happy about that. What were you happy about in Raw?
Raw?
Dakota Kai.
I don't know. Raw was okay this week. It wasn't that bad. They could have done a lot better. I did kind of like the ending to that match. A lot of interference, you know. So, but I really didn't get a good takeaway from of that match where they were trying to head it, like go to from it. You know, they kind of left it pointless.
I think that's the part that I think they're trying to get at. They're trying to leave some mystery at least. How do you feel? How do you feel about it, D'Lo?
Well, I was alright.
Either about the match or just the show itself.
The show itself, I wouldn't even want to pay attention to it's more worry about the bloodline stuff because the way why was Sami Zayn ask him at that moment after he got a match for the fifth member? Why would he do that? Like, that didn't make sense. So I was like,
right?
What are you doing? Like, he just got a highly contested, highly battled Peter Griffin, the chicken Colorado with Bronson Reed. He finally got a second match. And he asked him then.
Seth, Sammy asking Seth Rollins?
Yeah.
I think this is actually something really important to bring up because I mentioned this. I mentioned with the Mall of America where I talked to my wrestling friend over there. We were talking about it too. Who are the fifths for this Survivor Series? Oh, Brent, you had your hand raised. So who do you think is the fifth for each side?
It shouldn't be Seth Rollins. Okay, so when you have storylines with two people of that caliber that had the kind of history that they do, you want to keep them apart.
Right.
For one.
Right.
Not put them together for some kind of, one last hoorah. No. You want to keep that beef there for always. Sometimes, because WWE has a bad habit about doing that sometimes. Like, sometimes you just need to keep them away from each other.
I hear that.
Bronson Reed, why is he even in this?
It'll be him.
Is he Samoan?
He's half.
He's half.
Yeah.
But like,
so there you go.
Let them have their own match. Let them finish their stuff.
It takes away everything Bronson's been doing.
A lot of people saying the fifth member is going to be Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman.
Oh no. I think it's almost if I could bring up the fact that Raw's being pre-taped, they've already actually. I don't want to.
Let's pretend we don't know that.
Yeah.
Speaking of the ID and the bloodline, Zilla 2
made a status that he has signed an ID.
Really?
But but it hasn't been announced yet. So that's interesting. I wonder what the backlash on that'll be.
So the difference between him and Lance, considering that Lance just automatically got a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zilla's just being groomed then.
I guess so, yeah.
But Lance and Hikuleo are already a part of the program.
Right.
Right.
So, okay.
Kind of weird.
At first, I was hoping it would be Lance and Hikuleo or one of them, because Lance seems, in my whole storyline where I think Jacob takes over, Lance is his right-hand man.
Sure.
Otherwise, Keith, what do you think about the fifth? Did you have an idea who the fifths would be? It's pretty much the only thing in Raw that's up in the air right now. Everything else seems pretty cut and dry.
I mean, you would like to think that there's going to be some big swerve, but at the end of the day, it's probably going to be Bronson Reed and Seth. You know?
Yep.
Melding of storylines. It's just an old trope that I don't like. Just molding these. Oh, you're beefing and you're beefing. Let's put you guys in a tag match with these people so you can beef while he beefs and he can beef while he beefs.
yeah, exactly.
It's a double cheeseburger of beef.
I don't know. One of the best Survivor Series ever was whenever Dolph Ziggler carried everybody to the victory to keep to save Raw.
He's a good guy.
For like 3 weeks.
I wonder what happened to that Dolph Ziggler.
Man, yeah, he was good, dude. You could sell his ass off.
Yeah.
One
of the best.
Yeah.
Too bad that John Cena had to bury him. NXT, by the way.
Hey now.
Speaking of the bottom floor of WWE.
Ah.
Literally the greatest thing going on in WWE is their mid card. It's just this. It's not even their mid card. It's their developmental.
Yeah.
So about this. So the NXT goes as follows, right? Important matches: Stephanie Vaquer and Julia, aka
Beautiful
ESL.
Nightmare.
The Beautiful Nightmare, aka the pretty girls in the ESL class, beat the meta girls, Jakari Jackson and Lash Legend, which kind of defeats the purpose of making them look strong.
It was so odd.
Yeah.
So
you take the two hottest tag teams, you know what I mean, and put them.
Yeah, just put them together and then just have them clash.
As
and then
the opener. There wasn't a screwy finish or anything. Like
no,
they didn't even do anything to keep it going. Like they just beat them. Very weird.
Because remember, when you bring in these brand new people, you have to put them above everybody else. It doesn't matter. So here's somebody that's actually homegrown, though. Sol Ruka, shockingly in my eyes, defeated Cora Jade in the Iron Survivor qualifier match, which means what we already knew was happening. Sol Ruka, humongous push.
Yeah. What a surprise.
Man.
Cora just got back.
Finisher is fire.
Cora,
I like her finisher too.
Like D'Lo said, Cora just got back. Why are you going to let her lose on her first match?
Well, that's the thing with Penelope Ford. Don't get me started on the Penelope Ford thing.
And it's Camille. That's one thing I can say.
Yeah, Camille. Yeah,
Camille's a giant jobber. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, exactly. But Cora, I suppose her losing doesn't do anything to her character because she's just kind of silly like that.
Yeah.
But I just all respect to Sol Ruka, I just feel like somebody with a gimmicky finisher that doesn't look good if done badly, and does look okay when done well.
Well, it looked amazing in that match, which maybe that was Cora's positioning.
Cora definitely was there to sell the heck out of that, and she definitely
looked really good.
So congratulations, Sol Ruka, and congratulations to Wes Lee beating the veteran Cedric Alexander. Both of them are veterans, if we're thinking about it.
It was a really good match.
It was a very good match.
Match is very good,
But of course,
Cedric Alexander can't put on a bad match.
Cedric,
he's so good.
Just taking L after L.
Oh, that's what happens with certain people, like going down to NXT. They know that they're not going to go anywhere, even though he has Intercontinental Road written all over him. In my eyes,
sure.
He's kind of in a position.
He's a good brother situation where he's like, I'm such a mainstay that even if I lose to one of these NXT guys, it's a fluke or I'm just making them look good.
Yeah.
But I just don't like the fact that they have nothing to do with him other than just enhance people off of his back, off of his hard work. It's just messed up. Speaking of the backs of hard workers, Nikita Lyons beat Adriana Rizzo in the battle of Little Booty versus Big Booty.
That match was
Big Booty always
not very
wins.
good, to be completely honest. But I
No,
like.
it was not.
And
Also,
they're going to keep it going because Rizzo hit her with a crowbar at the end because that's what baby faces do when they lose.
apparently, yeah.
Especially with the D'Angelo family.
Yeah, yeah.
Can she be a babyface in the D'Angelo family, even though Tony is a
The
babyface?
D'Angelo family is the definition of tweeners.
They really are, though.
Yeah,
Right.
they put out hits on people, but then they're like, "Hey, the fans, forget about it." You know what I mean?
Hey, what's
It's
the
the
matter,
meatball.
you?
Yeah. So it's
By
all
the
about
way-
respect while we're running you over with a car.
By the way,
The
good luck
fans are
on that.
bugging,
And
that's
then
all.
maybe this leads to Obafemi. I still don't know how this leads to Obafemi.
Yeah, he hasn't even been on TV lately. This is weird.
Maybe he's taking his picking his shots.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe.
getting ready for that queen.
Hey now.
All right, we got. Speaking of royalty, Lexus King lost to Javon Evans,
He got bouncy.
even though
Yeah, he did.
Lexus King has a way crispier shape up.
It's a little more
Javon
big.
Evans, the rise, probably the meteoric rise. I've never seen a rise this meteoric, considering he's had his hand held up by Randy Orton and RVD in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, then him and Lexus King hugged afterwards,
Yeah.
so there was even more, respect for Javon Evans thing.
I'm still not inviting Lexus to the cookout, though.
I feel like Lexus King needs to get
a better shape.
a little crispier, like with his moves.
Yeah.
Like I feel like sometimes it looks like he's just going through the motions when he's in the ring.
Well,
He looks like a Hollywood blonde in the ring.
Well, we discussed him not too long ago. Remember that?
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah,
how he got his start up there and he just appeared in AEW and poof.
Yeah,
limited training. That's what happens when you're have limited training.
For sure.
So he's the one that should be taking the loss.
Actually, he should be signed under WWE ID.
Indeed. But
and I said it.
But he's got a pops.
Lexus and his haircut's gonna come after you. And then the main event, because ladies run the world.
Yes, they do.
North American Championship. Fallon Henley with her gaggle of ladies defeated Kalani Jordan in her rematch. D-Lo, are we mad?
What did you say again? My Bluetooth came on. What was it? The main event? The main event?
It was the main event. Fallon Henley with her fatal influence helps defeated Kalani Jordan.
The toxic influence was going to do what it was going to do.
Yep.
And it's fatal influence. You were mixing toxic attraction and fatal and
maybe he did it on purpose.
He said what he said.
Well, JC Jane was in both, so I do like.
Yo, man,
you know who's not
about it?
Yeah, I do like that.
The thick one with Gigi, with Jasmine.
Where's Gigi?
Fallon, the brunette, the Mandy. She had a turn blonde. She's not a natural.
She'll appear.
And then JC's JC. And JC J. Yeah, there you go.
Gigi.
I believe in Gigi. I'm just trying to say her name so she appears.
She appears.
No, me too.
She got wedding cakes. Cake so good you'd marry it. So that was NXT.
Chase.
Well, that match was
Chase you.
Oh yeah. That is an important thing. That's
could it be done for good?
No. Mr. Chase is gonna finally get his title shot.
Andre.
Finally get his title shot.
Is it him or is it them?
No, Mr. Chase. So what happened was Trick offered him a title shot. He's like, man, you've done so much and you've never gotten a shot. Mm-hmm. He's like, you deserve it. And then Ridge Holland came out and was like, oh, I had beaten him up. And then Andre Chase was like, you know what? I want this match. I'll put up Chase U if you let me, wrestle you for a number one contender spot. So they kind of did their own booking. And then at first, Rich Holland was like, Chase U's worthless. No reason to put it up. But then at the end, he was like, yes, number one contender, and Chase U will be over.
So after talking about how Chase, you didn't matter, then he said that they were going to put it in it. So that was weird.
That's on
Yeah, it was
a
weird.
brand for Rich Holland.
I think it's because he mentioned the names. Like I think he mentioned Thea, all the people. I think that's why he was like, all right, yeah, might as well
and
bring
then
them up, Mike.
Then they did the
come on to me.
You know, they did the freaking Andre Chase pump up promo in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Thea Hale went from a little girl to a grown woman. And you know, etc.
That's a wild statement.
Yeah.
So that's when. So this next pay-per-view is when Thea's going to do her heel turn.
No, I mean they are upset. They are like, Mr. Chase, why did you do this? You know, we don't want to risk breaking up. But I'm
telling you, she's gonna finally be the superstar as soon as she puts on a mean face.
Yeah,
a little dull ass mean face.
I do want to say though, that main event was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Fallon Henley, and I mean, all the outside interference was done well. You know, like it wasn't super blatant, and it made perfect sense. You know, with the way that everything went well. Those girls can work, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're good.
Yeah. Fallon Henley is one of the best, dude, and Fatal Influence together, they work so well together. Like their timing on all of that stuff.
I really think Jasmine Nix has a big future ahead of her. She's really good.
Dude, for sure.
She got a future behind her.
Well, it was
and if you look at like the screw ups that some of the women make on the main roster,
right?
And then to watch these NXT girls do the same kind of stuff and do it so smoothly, like that's awesome, dude.
That's why it's so silly to that we keep calling them developmental, and it's like, let's be honest.
Yeah, they're not. They're not.
There's so many. It's like a whole Daniel Bryan Miz thing. Is like, you're teaching me, like I'm under you.
Sure.
I'm Julia, and I'm under you, Dakota
Right.
Kai.
So I'm saying, like,
no disrespect to Dakota Kai, but she was the first person I was thinking about.
Yeah.
These girls and guys over in NXT are legit.
For sure.
Yes,
they are definitely legit.
You know who else is legit?
MC Hammer.
Yeah. MC
Too
Hammer.
legit to quit. I will say though, SmackDown is pretty legit.
I have something to go over before I have to cut out and leave you guys. This Randy Orton injury. I've seen some people say it was cervical. I've seen some people say it was a real injury, and I told them his head never hit the mat.
Yeah.
But
humanity.
They're still saying that he might have a legit injury.
It's a clerical injury.
Yeah.
Which I assume means that someone filed it away somewhere.
And this is referencing the pile driver he took.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what they were. Which, by the way, we have to. I'm gonna get in that right now because we have to speak about the fact that they've actually put onus on the actually mentioning that moves are illegal.
Right.
Yeah.
And how wild that is, considering what the heck we've been watching in the last however many years.
You can hit someone in the head with a toolbox.
But you can't do a pile driver.
You can't do a pile driver.
And you can choke a guy with a plastic bag.
Steel chair headshot.
Yeah.
Now people can use the muscle buster again.
Hey now.
So what the heck, right?
Well, guys, I have to bid you all farewell.
Enjoy, brother.
It's my time to go save the world from asbestos.
Thanks for making the 2 hour
get rid of the asbestos, man.
As bestest as you can.
Down with cancer, baby.
But you guys have a good weekend.
You too, brother.
And I will catch you guys next week. Well, I'll catch you before that, but you know.
Yeah. We'll be back here next week.
All right, farewell, everyone.
All right, Brent.
Later, brother.
Later.
So a quick touch up on SmackDown, just because him leaving meant it made sense. He was here for the 2.
Right.
SmackDown was a good match. It was a good show. You know, I'm liking what they're doing.
Yeah.
It was interesting which way they're going with certain people, but Bailey beat Candice LeRae with the Hurricane Rana. Or Rana pin. Does it matter? Like it's It's weird
Oh no,
because Candace.
she tried to pull on Sikaru on her. Remember, she tried to pull the fake energy, like my knee.
So they're pretty much
And
just
then,
really
and then she
playing
like,
into the fact that Candace is just dirty. She's just very dirty. That's her whole entire her gimmick now.
Yeah.
she a
Dirty
dirty
little
little
toxic pixie.
Yeah, dirty little girl.
But yeah,
Hey,
I
now.
hope the best for her, but I don't see much happening for her in the future.
Right.
And
Hey,
I
she got a
don't like
speech
the fact. What's up?
She got the speed champion. Hey,
Meechin.
Speed champion is so important. That is the most important championship on the internet.
Oh, the speed
yes.
championship, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this so funny how speed championships are longer matches than the women's matches?
Hey now.
Hey now.
AEW.
So one of the big ones, we just mentioned it, but Orton had been hospitalized. Cody Rhodes went with him into the emergency. What is it called?
The ER.
The local medical facility. Driving.
EMTs. The EMT.
EMTs. Okay. Yeah.
Truck.
Yeah.
He went into the EMT truck because it's Cody Rhodes. He has to make everything about him.
Yeah.
Which I
It
know
should be about
Randy's going to start feeling. He's going to feel weird about it. And then him and
gonna pull
Kevin Owens are going to.
Owens.
Yeah, he's going to pull a Kevin Owens with Kevin Owens. So, yeah, apparently Randy Orton, when he was hurt before, from what I imagine, and then same thing what they did with Seth Rollins, where he took 6 tsunamis, and they were like, "Oh, he's hurt." No, he's hurt before that. I imagine being, jumped on by a guy 6 times. That's a crazy statement. I'm going to stop there. So,
hey now.
don't dream it's over. So it's pretty much
as the world
the world turns.
Yeah.
So Randy Orton, he was beefing with Kevin Owens. They were doing that thing where, small security would come over and try to stop him, and then they had to show how big they are and the fact that, the law means nothing to them. But
they are the
Kevin
law.
Owens just randomly picks him up, and you think he's going to do a power bomb because pop-up power bomb is his thing until he got the stunner. Right. But then he just randomly goes for a pile driver, and then Michael Cole really did sell it about how it's like, oh, it's a legal move. Like, he could have killed him. We know what happened to everybody that took the pile driver before. Now, Jerry Lawler says Jerry Lawler almost broke Andy Kaufman's neck. Stuff.
Yeah.
Almost had to vacate the fat title that he had.
The horror. The horror.
The absolute horror. I understand that pile driver is illegal, right? But how do you feel about the fact that they really put that much emphasis on the fact that he was pile drivered, and we're supposed to really, really believe that this is like now this is the straw that broke the camel's back, and like now Kevin Owens is gonna be retired. No, I mean now Kevin Owens is gonna be fired because he's not renewing his contract.
Ooh.
I didn't think of that element.
Yeah. Man.
So do we think that this is just an escape for Kevin Owens, or is it just because at some point is it leading to Adam Pearce against Kevin Owens? Is it leading to Randy Orton against Nick Aldis? It's like because it seems like Pearce has been really like putting his foot down with both of them, and they've both just been like, oh yeah, whatever. So it either leads to an Adam Pearce Scrap Daddy match.
Scrap Daddy.
Or it leads to Kevin Owens being suspended, if not fired.
I was hoping that it would lead to pile drivers everywhere.
If they just bring back the pile driver?
Yeah, he put the move over as this killer. Like
you have Penta. Penta does the package power. Freaking Oh, I was about to say Vicaire does it, but she does like a different where she puts you on your back. It's like a backbreaker turned weird finisher, but it's okay. She looks good in her tights, so
sure. She can do that for any day of the week.
She can do whatever she wants. But
that double knee.
Oh no, I just found it weird considering that like every single thing in the world happens in WWE and nobody bats an eye. But as soon as somebody gets pile drived,
woo!
Oh my god!
Yeah, like
skibbity chaos.
Toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
Pile driver, both from clerical.
Speaking of toolbox, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano.
Nah, just Ciampa.
Speaking of Candice,
It was a Ciampa. He beat the piss out of Perry Deadly.
He did.
Let's take it out. Let's keep it 100.
That's what I was gonna go at. It was DIY, but Tommaso Ciampa was the do-it-yourself. He pretty much did it himself,
right?
and he took apart modern day Billy and Chuck.
Oh man!
After the fairy tale ending, and the thing is, Johnny Gargano. Congratulations to Rico for making a new appearance, but Ciampa was supposed to. He was supposed to tag in Johnny Gargano, and he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it myself because you're too soft. So it's like an opposite of Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell thing, where it's
now
now
a
like
fanboy. That's why. He being a fanboy. That's what going in on him.
He can't, Vincent. He's on a podcast.
Sorry, my son just came home. I don't know if you guys picked that up.
Oh, okay. No,
we heard
something. I was like,
he being a fanboy. That's why Ciampa's going in on it. Like, man, he being a fanboy. I think either Shelly or Sabre, one of them mentor him. So he.
Oh yeah, because he wanted to cozy up to the machine guns.
Right.
And Ciampa's like, what the heck are you doing? You're like a distinguished champion that has carried this business, and these guys just got here out of years and years and years of trying. Like, they didn't even have to take bumps to Nia Jax. I did. I had to grow a beard to become this. That's probably what he's saying. He's like, Alex Shelley, all he has is a goatee. Chris Sabin doesn't have any hair. I had to grow a huge beard and kill my best friend, kayfabe, in order to be where I am now. But I do like it because Ciampa's never been the campy like fan. He's always been like, I'm just the nitty gritty gruff. Like, I'm just going to, like, ruin you.
Yeah.
I'm
maybe
just going
Candice can teach Johnny Gargano how to be dirty.
I would hope that they absorb her into it because one, this leaves Candice in nowhere's land. Two, she does have an edge now, and I think that should be explored. And I think they should give some NXT love to some former NXT people. Come do a little bit of a shout out. Let's acknowledge the fact that Ciampa once turned on Gargano and not do the whole Vince McMahon where it's like, oh, everything in NXT is just wiped.
Yeah,
it's like the MLB. It's like the MLB, right? You don't take your AAA stats up to MLB. However, they do mention your their AAA stats when you're in MLB, but that's the thing that Vince never did. He never really cared.
Yeah,
he wanted them to be just blank slates. But speaking about doing double duty,
Express.
Mm-hmm. But Bianca Belair defeated
Tiffy time
champion and Tiffy time.
It's over.
I liked the spot where Bianca picked up Tiffy for that KOD.
Yeah,
I do like that spot. And then
Candice, I think she trying to get herself in the crew with Nia crew. She trying to get in
really.
There. Yeah, because I think she came out and like try to push. I think Bianca's about to go for like a 4 feet splash, and she pushed off the top rope.
I did see that. Yeah, I do.
And then she put it off. So, and then Naomi came on, and Nia just sized her.
So there's obviously
trying to set up a 6-man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, seems like it. But there's obviously some friction between Tiffy and Nia. So does Nia just pick up Candice, or like how does that work?
It's add-on. It's like an add-on.
Yeah, maybe Candice becomes Tiffy's like she carries Tiffy's case or something. Yeah. Like for lack of a better word.
If she was in her face era though, if she was a face, I could see that.
Sure.
She's like, oh, here, like, no, but she's like a dastardly heel now. She's been doing a whole heel thing where she's been teaching somebody who's not here anymore to be a heel.
That's why
she's a mean girl for no reason now.
I think they should transfer that to the tag team.
That's
to Johnny Gargano. That would make way more sense. It's a freaking.
It'll be a full circle thing. It'll be a full circle thing, and then like Johnny comes to her and he's like, "Oh no, Tommaso," and she's like, "Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep being okay with him? He keeps either just either take the side of Ciampa and be like, he's right. You've always done this, and then Andrade beat you, and then this guy beat you, and this guy beat you, and you always were pushover. And then, or she's like, why are you trusting Ciampa? You remember what he did? He was your best man, and he turned on you, and he beat you for the championship 3 times. He's better than you.
Embrace the chaos.
And I'd rather be with him.
I'd rather be with him.
And then just leave it. Oh man, don't get me started. I'm a creative. Don't get me started with my writing. Speaking of guns,
yes.
Bianca had their match and stuff like that, and Jax did their thing. But after that, there was another match. There was a tag match. It was the champions, the Motor City Machine Guns, and their mid finisher against A-Town Down Under, who is taking nothing but L's.
Hey now.
They are like my one friend in the cipher that doesn't roll. All he does is take L's. That's all he does, and cough. Can't even do that right. So,
man,
in classic WWE fashion, they diminish one tag to lift another.
Right.
I want to ask something. Why is A-Town Down Under still together? And also, where do the Machine Guns go now?
A-Town Down Under still together because neither one of them can be a freaking babyface.
Yeah.
Like, it would be.
God, I can't. Yeah, it's like, man, you're right. You are so right.
It's like when they try to turn the Miz babyface, it never freaking works.
Because he's not likable.
Yeah. Right. And neither one of them are either.
I didn't like him back in the Real World versus Road Rules when he told that girl Kendra
when he was flexing on Mike
and then he told that girl, he told that super cute girl Kendra that he couldn't be with her because she was dating like a friend of his back home. And I was like, but she's so cute though.
Yeah.
What a monster. Hope he never finds somebody.
Yeah. Especially some super hot French chick.
Yeah.
That'd be terrible.
Yeah.
Draw me like one of your French wrestlers.
Hey now.
Tego.
And the Machine Guns just keep beating people,
Yes, they do.
Obviously. That's where they're going. They're just going to keep beating people.
Speaking of beating people, Machine Guns, do you think they win this next week? Because it was announced that Montez is pretty much putting up the tag team on the line right now to face the Motor City. And Angelo Dawkins talked about the same thing. It's like it's win or bust. And they're pretty much making it very, very well known that it's pretty much win or Dawkins is fired.
See, and here's the weird thing, like,
or win or Montez and Bianca go on their main run.
Right. Here's the weird.
At some point they're going to join. What's up?
Oh, sorry, man. I didn't mean to keep interrupting you. You paused, so I thought you were done, and then you started talking more, and then I was like, okay, so.
No, that was my bad. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, dude. So I think Montez Ford has like the cocky personality to be a heel, but I also think that you could do cool stuff with Angelo Dawkins as a heel.
I thought so because the way he had his stern face during that, right?
Yeah.
He did look like he could occupy like a bruiser type. Like, I'm just going to throw people around. I'm just going to be mean. I could see it, but like him and B-Fab seem like Marty Jannetty and the Boa. They're holding back the real star, which is Shawn Michaels. It's like, like if I'm being honest, the same way you said exactly, Montez Ford, he can be that guy. That's what they've seen in Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
D'Lo, how do you feel about it? Like, obviously, I made it like a bold statement about Angelo, but how do you feel about like which direction they go? Do you feel they win the championships or do they lose and then just go their separate ways?
I would like for them to win the titles, but I feel a turn.
Is it a heel turn? Are they even baby faces?
They're kind of in that tweener stage, because they were in a period of trying to figure themselves out with last year, and then they got all switched around. And then
do you give the Machine Gun such a short run?
I don't think so.
I don't think
that's the thing about it. It's like, okay, like, because there can be an F finish, we're not going to say it, but there can be one of those screw jobs where, somebody comes in and fights them. Who are they? Is each team beefing with somebody specific?
You can put the bloodline there and try to get the tab.
Maybe Theory and Waller go out and beat up both of them so they can have the street fight profits have somebody to pin.
Champa can come out and just everything up because they're in his hometown. They're in Milwaukee. So he's pissed.
Yeah, good call.
He pissed.
So he wants to make a statement.
So
why aren't they getting their Why aren't they getting the tag title shot in his hometown?
Right. And, I think he said on the show.
He's like, oh, they're demanding for it. What have they done? We're multiple NXT champions. We're multiple time tag champions in NXT and in there. Street Profits haven't done anything in comparison to us. But the thing is, though, I think what I said might happen more because it's easier to hate Theory and Waller. And they just lost to Motor City Machine Guns, so I could see why they would go back and be like, you know what, you effed us, we'll F you in that way. And then it'll be a fatal four-way where Street Profits beat Gargano, possibly, or Dawkins.
Maybe the British kids could come out too, since they
pretty deadly
humiliated. Yeah.
Well, that's almost too much of an obvious pin taker in a fatal four-way.
Right.
Even though each company does their share of obvious booking.
They like to do four-corner tag matches, Yeah. It's kind of their thing. So
they did that with the New Day in that last match, whatever, where they tried to pin each other, or that I thought that was a good I've seen it before, but I thought that was a good angle.
I love it when they do that. Yeah.
Speaking of angles,
Kirk?
Speaking of angles, I like looking at Naomi from the side.
Hey,
and Naomi is against Nia Jax next week.
Baby.
So tonight.
Delicious.
Okay, all right. We have a Nia fan here. I am not against. I
like Naomi.
Hey, I'll just start lifting more weights. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'll take both. I'll be the referee.
Okay. Respectfully, no disrespect to Jimmy Uso. I know she's a taken woman, but Lord knows, Naomi
ain't though.
Physical specimen.
Naomi's pretty, man. Mm-hmm. She's super pretty.
Mm-hmm. Also, there was a sighting, since there is a connection between the two for TKO. Speaking of which, I do have stock in TKO, so I hope you guys are doing better. UFC light heavyweight champion who is fighting soon, Hoatan Alex Pereira, was spotted in the crowd. I do like the melding. I think UFC needs to do more on the other end, where there needs to be more WWE champions seen. And tomorrow is the John Jones Stipe Miocic fight, and I'm a big John Jones fan. I'm going to watch with a fellow Clevelander, somebody born and raised from Cleveland, and he's going to cry. He was going to cry when Stipe. He told me, he's like, when Stipe has to retire after this match, I'm going to shed tears because he's such a big Cleveland guy.
Dude, look, Stipe is going to hit him with those leg checks and keep him away from him.
But then John Jones is going to check him at the same time. Who do you think wins in a check battle?
I mean, dude, I hate John Jones. So
what?
I was a big John Jones fan.
This man is against sandblasting.
Until he fought Vitor.
Mm-hmm.
And he was clearly on something in that fight.
You're telling me that the guy that beat up a robber in Newark and then won the title that night is a bad guy?
I'm not saying he's a bad guy.
You're telling me the guy who did a weekend of cocaine and then fought Daniel Cormier
cheats,
and bragged about it?
Right. It was which fight? There was a fight where he had a broken toe and they reset his toe and he just kept doing his promo. They reset it and he just kept talking. Alexander Gustafsson kicked his ass, by the way.
I do think he won that. It was the second fight or first fight?
Yeah, the second fight.
I think he won the second fight also, but
yes, there's that too.
I am in the place where John Jones belongs in WWE.
Yeah, but Vitor, I don't know if you remember the Vitor fight, but Vitor is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu freak, on top of just being super strong. And he had him in that freaking arm bar. And John Jones was walking around with him hanging off of his arm. That's cocaine, my friend. That is cocaine. So
are you saying that they're not allowed to have fun?
No, what I'm saying is that some of John Jones's victories were because not just because he's a freak athlete. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
I think Vitor should have won the title. I think that if he wasn't coked up or on whatever he was on, he would have felt that armbar and he would have submitted.
I personally think that if you're Chandler Jones's more athletic brother, then I think you can do stuff like that, whether or not you're on the white stuff.
I mean, I could be completely wrong, dude. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
and the broken toe thing, dude, you can't get your toe reset and just keep talking. That doesn't make sense.
I'll show you. I can do it right now. I'm kidding.
Joe Rogan was like, they just reset his toe. And he's just like talking away, dude. I don't know, man. I question his credibility because of his recreational activities. And Stipe is such a good dude. He's a freaking volunteer fireman, for God's sake. And I'm not saying that John Jones isn't a good dude. Stipe is such a good dude, and he's really precise, and I would rather see him win. And I've been watching him fight, since before he was in the UFC. And so
same with my friend, yeah. So it's going to be be an interesting time. Real good weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
Good week. It's funny because there's not as many wrestling things, but everything else, like there's a boxing match, there's a UFC match, all in a row. I'm gonna watch all of those, and I just got done watching my Washington Commanders get beat up by the Eagles, which is always a horrible.
Definitely watch that Tyson fight for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty much a biannually thing.
We're probably gonna have to edit this down to 2 hours for the radio, so not all this is gonna get.
Oh, it's gonna be absolutely wild. Yeah, we're going.
Because we're just talking. But what do we got left? We got AEW, where the Outrunners are about to beat Private Party for the tag titles.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
On
Finally
here it says it's a
fatal four-way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But Page and Cage beat Gang Bang Gang.
Jay and Juice.
I actually just realized what I just said. That's actually an insane thing I just said.
Bang Bang Gang.
Bang Bang Gang.
Dude, today is an interesting day on this podcast.
Page and Cage versus the Bang. Okay.
Jay and Juice
versus Jay White and Juice. Jay and Juice.
Jay and Juice.
Page Cage versus White Juice. All right.
Yeah,
that's like we're not gonna. We're editing everything.
Yeah, it's all gone.
So I don't know what Christian had to do with that. I don't know what Christian needs to do with Adam Page. I imagine it's because nobody likes Cage aside from his people, and then nobody likes Page other than Page. So together, they Jay White and Juice take yet another L, which makes my prediction of Jay White being champion more and more of a pipe dream.
Yeah.
A pipe dream I've had ever since Japan. I've always wanted him to be champion, but no.
Yeah.
Speaking of nothing matches, Roderick Strong defeats Lance Archer in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
We knew that was happening.
More L's for Lance, just feed it to him. Takeshita beats Adam Cole.
Takeshita. Oh, man.
Interesting.
Thank goodness.
Takeshita's wonderful, but he also was just getting done losing to people like right before. What does it do for Adam Cole?
I'm not,
what are you doing with Adam Cole where you have him losing the same day?
I know what it was doing, They're gonna do the year anniversary of the heel turn, and they'll make that into the match next.
Oh, the Undisputed? Okay.
Yeah, that's how I think that's gonna do Cole MJF. So
Roderick Strong and Adam Cole are on the bill together. Do you think there's a correlation with them going with not obviously not Kyle O'Reilly because he's stuck in a stupid faction?
Oh yeah, they've been trying to do a little reunion. I don't know if Kyle will be with it yet, but I think by the end of the year, maybe some differences. Especially Kyle gets left behind of the conglomeration. But
it seems like it'll be because conglomeration just got beat by the learning tree. What the heck? At least I believe so. Yeah.
Because Chris Jericho is Chris Jericho is God, man. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the gimmick where he actually crowns himself God. I feel like he's just gonna be in heaven. He's like, you did what? You just made the list.
Yes, that's
Just
perfect.
keeping people from getting into heaven.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
You
Yeah.
cost me the hardcore championship in '97 against Dean Malenko. You
You
just made the list.
Yes,
You
that's
cheered for
perfect.
Christian's heel turn. You just made the list.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
You said
That's beautiful.
Fozzie's last album was mid.
You
You were
just-
correct.
Oh,
Oh,
this.
kidding.
You are
All right.
correct.
So
You can come on in.
speaking of people taking relentless amounts of L's, Penelope Ford
Ugh.
lost
Oh
to
my
Britt
God.
Baker
Thank you.
2 in a row.
Why?
2 in a row. Well,
Hey.
because remember, booking.
Yeah.
Jamie, I kind of
Sometimes you got to get punished for having children.
Yeah, Jamie, I understood, but come on, Penelope, come on. She's a super bad girl.
So dumb, man.
I just don't know why they had to feed her to Britt. I don't know why. Britt couldn't
Makes no
be
sense.
enhancement talent.
I will
Speaking of,
honestly say the counter was kind of slick. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
That counter was kind of slick. I will say that. But
Oh, they're
outside
good.
that, anything
They're
else
good.
is all right.
I was gonna say, speaking of very talented midway jobbers,
Whoa.
Leo Rush lost to Swerve,
Oh, you
which I
forget
always
it.
love seeing them fight.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure that was
I just
fire.
would love to see him take like maybe a butler role to the Hurt Syndicate. Leo
Right.
Rush.
I heard business. Yes, you forgot about the most important thing of the night. Mina and Harley Cameron. The face off of old face
Shaking their
off.
boobies.
The,
Shaking their boobies.
the breasts off, all
Shaking their
breasts off.
boobies.
Oh my lord.
Woo.
Oh man.
You want to go viral? Shake your boobies.
Well, remember, Tony Khan is transmogrifying into Vince McMahon as we speak.
Yeah.
You did say
Somebody's got to do it, I guess.
And yeah, Harley Cameron does look like a lopsided like bobblehead doll. It's just
hilarious.
wild. And it's also funny because Yamashita and Kylie Ray beat up Laney Luck and Harley Cameron. So why are they friends? They literally do you remember in it was a wrestling show where they all fought together. It was like, what the heck? Maple Leaf Pro, Maple Leaf Pro that just happened. That was
Just
one of the matches. It was like, why are you friends with Yamashita now? I'm typing in as we speak.
I feel like
BOO. How do you spell it? 2 O's or 2 B's or 3 B's? I'm kidding.
I'm like,
So,
what the hell are you talking about?
Anyway, speaking of dark humor,
-1 is still booking AEW. That's the secret.
Oh yeah.
Ever since the Brody Lee tribute show, his kid has been booking AEW.
-1 only gets positive ratings for me.
Yeah.
Negative.
It's a -1. -1 is hilarious.
That's funny.
So speaking of my dark humor, Kings of the Black Throne, which is Malachi and Brody King beat FTR.
You know.
Why? Why did they win?
So the people will stop thinking that Malachi's leaving.
Oh, really? They're throwing him a bone? Well, he just won't leave without Buddy? Why?
Well, no, I'm saying like the fans. I'm saying how the fans were like, oh, that was the farewell, blah, 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 blah. And now it's like, why would we give him this big win if he's taken off? You know what I mean? To throw fans off the scent.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, I know we didn't mention it during the news, but I do find this really important because I read this on X. Kurt Angle was talking about the fact that now, since they cut Baron Corbin, him losing in that WWE match against Baron Corbin makes absolutely no sense anymore.
It made no sense back then. What the fuck?
It made no sense back then, but again, they were trying to build like an actual like future champion.
Right.
Never was.
Like,
not only was he never champion, but he was teased to be champion, cashed in, and then lost anyway because of somebody who had nothing to do with him.
That was way before he even had that match against Kurt Angle. That Money in the Bank briefcase shit.
That's the thing. So like, why do you sacrifice a retirement match for Kurt Angle? That's the thing. Like with John Cena, right? Like imagine his last match was to put over Carmelo Hayes. Just for Carmelo Hayes to float in the mid card forever.
Yeah.
And never really get a look.
John Cena would be unhappy about that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Exactly. So I feel for Kurt Angle. You know, I really do.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm sure that Kurt Angle wanted, for his last match, I'm sure he wanted something similar to what he did with Eddie or Benoit. You know what I mean?
They've disrespected him like his entire existence was just him getting disrespected. You know, Edge, Stone Cold, and the thing about him is that he loved to pick fun at himself, but like give him some credit. Like you literally made his whole gimmick that he sucks.
Yeah.
He went with it, you know. He literally like he might be top 10.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Would you say, boys, that Kurt Angle top 10 of all time wrestlers?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Like between being able to speak, being able to wrestle, being able to be funny, being able to be taken seriously, I don't see how he's not. But then you give him a Baron Corbin send off just to cut him.
Yeah,
it's wild. It's like making a trade. It's like a team making a trade for somebody that they're just going to end up sitting or just keeping on the bench
or a second round
draft. Bojan Bogdanovic, man. The Pistons traded their best player for trash.
Bogdanovic is really good too.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah.
How's Tobias Harris, aka untalented J. Cole, doing for you?
I'm glad everybody has that.
We're winning more games. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all doing better than my Wizards. I'll take that.
Hey man, hey, shout out to the Wizards. I'm a DMV guy, so you know, with Washington, but I don't care about the Wizards. Jordan Poole can put up 40 and losses all day. I'm a Warriors fan.
For sure.
I'm a Warriors fan. Draymond was right. Punch him in the face.
Draymond was right.
you know.
Draymond, I'm gonna just have a shirt that says Draymond was right.
Draymond was right with that punch, dude. That Superman punch.
I'd punch him too if somebody from the University of Michigan was trying to talk crap to me.
Chris Webber, baby.
About to say Draymond's a Spartan too. He was like, "What? What do you mean Denard Robinson was better than Kirk Cousins?" Bang. Bang. What do you mean Ohio State isn't life? Bang. Oh, what? He has a punchable face.
Yeah.
See me in the ring. See me in the ring. I'm gonna just be like Jake Paul. Just people that have no business being in a ring. Just like Jordan Poole, I challenge you. Anything other than basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Okay. Jordan Poole, like and subscribe. Speaking of which, I think we mentioned
TNA real quick. Or?
I will say some things on TNA. Yeah. Santana beat Casey Navarro. You know, good show off for Casey Navarro, but yeah, Mike Santana looks good next to him.
Yeah.
The Rascals beat Angels and Christ, which just sounds like heaven.
Right.
So the Rascals obviously just winning, just doing good.
Jay Christ put his nephew over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Jake Chris? Oh yeah.
Is OBE still together?
Alan Angels I like too. Alan Angels
OBE is never gonna be not together.
I was about to say
those guys are for life, man.
Oh yeah,
good.
Exactly.
OVR, good.
At least somebody still is, yeah.
Good.
The Northern
Jay Chris is legitimately Zachary Wentz's uncle, by the way. That's
shit.
That's cute.
Yeah.
He's Dave Chris' kid. He's Dave Chris' kid, even though Dave is gone. You know, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Northern Armory, which is Josh Alexander's faction, defeated the team of Macklin Young and Jonathan Gresham. So they added Jonathan Gresham to the beef because Josh Alexander attacked Gresham during their whole match and stuff like that. And so he's, you always have to put somebody in to take an L.
Right.
That's a stocky ass team right there. Stocky and compact.
They should call it Stock Inc. Stock
market.
The stock market.
We are live.
No necks anywhere seen.
You shit.
Get Rhino.
You lost the pile driver.
Get Ryback. Everybody without a neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
No
get,
neck
get
incorporated.
Hardcore Holly and tell him to leave his C5 and C6 vertebrae at home.
Take
You
them
don't
out, baby.
You don't need it. You don't need your left arm.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry beat Ryan Nemeth, who obviously
Mhm.
is kayfabe and in real life Nick
Nick
Nemeth's
Nemeth's
brother.
Yeah.
After disrespecting him, because Ryan Nemeth did take a bump. He
Ryan
got
Nemeth was in OVW for a while, and
he was, yeah.
and
he was in
yeah, I
AEW
mean,
as well.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
he's a wrestler. Like, he's legit. You know,
He's an actual wrestler, and he was in AEW, but he just wasn't doing much. But then JBL, he was a casualty to JBL's very badly executed chokeslam from hell, where he just hits people with his shoulder. Just hitting people with his shoulder.
Yeah.
And Rosemary's going on a weird path, defeating
Yeah.
Jada Stone. So I think they might be building her up to face Masha, because Masha is the champion now.
Dude, it's funny because I was in a chat, well, in a Facebook group where people were saying that the new Rosemary isn't
Wendy?
Courtney Rush.
Oh.
They were saying it's not Courtney Rush anymore, that there's a new girl playing Rosemary.
A new Oh, really?
It's not
so
true.
It's just like
It's
an
not
Ultimate
true.
Warrior type thing.
Yeah. And
Because she has blonde hair now? Is that why they think
yeah,
that?
I'm assuming because she has blonde hair now. They're like, oh, it's a different girl. You can't cut your hair and dye it blonde.
No, that's silly.
And the amount of people who like were totally behind this theory.
That's funny.
It's insane. And I was just like, yeah, just like there was a second Ultimate Warrior and a second Jim Duggan.
So you're telling me that Sting isn't actually Eric Draven come back to life? And it's actually the Sting from the 80s that had the colorful face paint and the blonde hair?
Actually, the Sting who was doing the Wolfpack stuff is the guy from the Police.
Oh, actual Sting.
Yeah. It's
Don't
actual
stand so
Sting.
close to me. I hear that.
They were like, we need to replace the other Sting. Come do
If
this.
I'm being
for us.
honest, though, it was always funny to me that Every Breath You Take was sang by the Police, because it did feel that way in Jersey.
Oh, man.
I did feel like they were watching me. Oh, can't you see you belong to me?
For real.
Good stuff.
So she's still rocking the pink. She's still in the pink phase with the short hair and the rocking.
Yeah.
Still in the pink phase. All right.
It's just weird where she's going now but she just had a falling out with a very brand new Wendy Chu.
Yeah, I say, man, they not cool.
It's weird where they go. Yeah, apparently not. Yeah, they had a match against each other last week and all of that.
Interesting.
And like there was some. Yeah, apparently there was.
Wendy Chu can't keep a friend, man.
All right, she can't keep a friend to say a lie.
She's growing on me a little bit. Like
her
sadistic Aquafina gimmick.
That's what I think too. That's what I think too.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't stand the actual Aquafina because she's everywhere. But I do
the movie
like
that
Wendy
she did
Chu
with
now.
John Cena was pretty good. Her and John Cena.
Really?
Yeah, it was on Amazon.
I don't know if I want to watch that. Amazon. John Cena. Every movie John Cena's in is on Amazon.
Yeah. I think he might have a contract.
That's where I watched. I watched that movie that he was in where he was pretending to be Zac Efron's friend.
The Kaneki guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Ricky
Stanicki.
Yeah, Ricky. I watched that too.
He is a very much a clown though. You can tell.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's his style of funny.
Peacemaker's coming out soon. Season 2 finally. So
let's see how it goes. Marvel DC. Stand
up.
All right, so that's the thing about those specific programs. We already spoke about the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. That's going to be happening tonight. That'll be something that we mention next week. Otherwise, I feel like we've tackled a decent amount of the stuff that we wanted to get to. Obviously,
I do want to say, like, I was serious about the Outrunners. I think at Full Gear, they're winning the tag belts.
Well, I think that Private Party doesn't need to be given any sort of push because I think the conclusion to their entire storyline was them winning it just that one time.
Yeah. I think it's a good reward for them. Like they stuck around with no contract. You know what I mean? And like we're one of the most over things, and they put over Hook in like twice, I think, in handicap matches.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is also is that Isaiah Cassidy and them, they were really good workers in HOG. Them and the Young Bucks them and the Young Bucks have a rapport that they've wrestled maybe 5-6 matches. I've seen ladder matches with them where they've put on a big. So I knew that if the Elite was going to give anybody a rub, it would have been Private Party. I feel like I already knew it was going to happen, but yeah, they wanted to give that incentive, I guess. I don't know if that's leading to a turn, but
I was talking about the Outrunners.
Oh no.
About them winning the belts coming up. That was like a good reward for all the stuff that they've done.
Oh, okay. I thought you were meaning the reward for Private
Party.
No,
like working for a couple years with no contract, but still showing up every time and like being super over, getting their merch over.
They got themselves.
And they, like I said, they put Hook over in 2 handicap matches. A guy who's half their size, beating both of them. So somehow stayed over. Like that's amazing. So yeah, I think them winning the tag belts would be a good bow, on the top of it. So
that'd be nice. I think that'd be cool. It'd be
Outrunner. Okay.
It'd be fun.
They're growing on me, low key. They're growing on me.
Yeah. So we've done like an hour and a half. I do want to mention the indie spotlight real quick. Spine Shattering Spectre. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look into him, but
we've done 2.5.
Yeah. I think I said 2.5.
You said 1.5.
Oh, that was supposed to be 2.5.
But I would like, the indie spotlight, if you could. I believe trained by AR Fox.
Trained by AR Fox.
Same thing as Alex Kane, the one I was talking about before.
Right. Known as the wrestling stuntman. Does a lot of crazy stuff, has some good matches. I think he's got a huge future. His character is kind of unique. So yeah, just check him out.
Does he go by just Spectre or Spine Shattering Spectre?
Okay, so he goes by Spectre, but Spine Shattering Spectre is the full gimmick. Like the immortal Hulk Hogan. It's Spine Shattering Spectre.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah,
sounds gruesome.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's really good. Like, especially if you like over the top stuff. I mean, he's
I knew it. I sounded gruesome off the name. So my spine shattered. I'm like, I feel Messiah the Backbreaker minus more. Probably got some height to it. That's what I'm thinking.
He specializes in brutality.
Yeah, he does indeed. That's what I'm saying. If you like crazy things, check him out.
He's kind of like a sadistic Hurricane Helms.
Yeah, or I'm pretty sure that he takes a lot of inspiration from Mick Foley. The old Cactus Jack stuff that he used to do. So, if you're into that kind of stuff,
I also seen him lick a snake once.
Sometimes you do that. Sometimes you lick snakes.
Sometimes you got. That's a wild statement to say. I get what you're saying.
Sometimes you gotta lick a snake.
That's.
I don't know.
So yeah, check out Spectre. Check out Spine Shattering Spectre, and you could see him around in the Indies, and then hopefully on one of these major shows doing something other than jobbing to Hook.
He's based down in Memphis, I believe, like down in that area, down in Tennessee. So
I hope he beats up Ribby and Jerry the King Lawler at the same time.
That'd be amazing. Oh, speaking of Rebby, just real quick.
Oh, I said Ribby. I said Ribby. Shout out to WWE 2K.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna speak on Rebby real quick, but not really. The AEW released the mashup of the Hardy Boys and Joe Hendry's theme.
I did,
and it is amazing. It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Matt Hardy looks like he's having the time of his life in that video, just clapping away, and like the look on his face is just insane. I'm not sure if they're mocking Joe Hendry or if they're actually.
I think they're mocking Jeff.
Yeah,
because he's always clapping.
Serious.
Every
Jeff
time he comes out, every single time he does his entrance, Jeff Hardy just starts.
Yeah, true.
It's the thing I hated about him the most. Not hate is a strong word. I'll still use it though. But like I was like, why are you just
Oh, man.
And then you
And air humping. He's also
exactly.
Yeah.
And then you pair it with the Joe Hendry thing, and it was like it's so over the top, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
But yeah, it was the at Emergence. At Emergence was the tag, I believe, where Joe Hendry and the Hardys came out together, and then they did that, and I saw it, and I immediately just started laughing, and I told you guys after it happened. Yeah, they actually did release it, and I'm not going to listen to it. I'd rather listen to the original because it's short and sweet and still funny.
I definitely watched it. It's good. It's funny.
I will not say his name because I haven't finished my furniture, and I don't want Joe Hendry to be here. I don't want Joe Hendry to come here, and my place isn't fully furnished. The salmon isn't even ready.
Indeed.
Fish and chips.
I do believe in Joe Hendry, though. One day he'll be the champion. One day.
100%.
In WWE.
NXT.
Hey, I would love him to be NXT champion right now, actually.
That'd be awesome.
I would love that. A TNA wrestler with the NXT championship or the NXT wrestler with the TNA championship, but it has to be the other way around. I think it has to be a TNA with NXT championship.
It's a bigger rub that way.
It need to happen now. We need a Josh Alexander versus Ethan Page match right now.
Rhino's going to show up and win the belt.
I don't need that. I do need to check out this Raven documentary.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be cool. Yeah.
We should talk about
like
that
I said
time,
when we talked about it before, I really hope that when the trailer released, like it's all about drugs, and I really hope that's not what they focus on in the documentary.
I always thought he was one of the most underrated.
That.
He was one of the most underrated wrestlers I've ever seen.
Yeah. You want to talk about top 10, man?
That man was just good. That man was just solid.
So good.
Reason why he went into TNA and just immediately became champion.
Right.
So we've gotten to as much as we can.
Let's get out of here.
Heads off. I got work in an hour, and then I'm watching the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight.
Indeed.
I hope the boxers prevail. Otherwise, if he wins, consider this a challenge. Jake Paul, if you want to go Paul for Paul, you want to see who the better Paul is, I will fight you with one arm.
Pablo wants you, Bubba.
I will fight you with one arm. Don't say Pablo wants any man. That is a wild statement.
Sorry, brother.
I do welcome a pugilist competition.
All right. So the sexiest wrestling podcast on the internet.
Are you saying that because I'm wearing
signing off?
The steamiest.
A little bit, D-Lo, appreciate seeing you again.
D-Lo. Yeah, thanks for popping in.
Is there anything you want to say about what's coming up this next week? Anything you want to put out there, or things that you're going to watch that you think people should watch?
Watch Abbott Elementary. That's about it.
You're the second person to say that in the last 2 days, and I think I got to check it out.
St. Dennis Medical was pretty funny. It's kind of it's a one of those fake documentary shows too.
Oh yeah,
it's like an office type thing, but it's in a hospital. It's really funny.
Oh, okay.
The first 2 episodes are on Peacock right now. I think that's what I watched it on. But yeah, it was funny.
And then Keith, if you want to tell our wonderful guests and wonderful fans where they can find us.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can check out I did it again, dude. It's okay. We'll be editing this. It's not live.
You can also check out the Most Excellent Podcast.
You can check out the Most Excellent Entertainment Podcast. I've been doing some cool guests and stuff lately. But
our very own Keith has his own as well. So check that out. We are together, not separate.
Indeed. I do that one on Thursdays, and I get so used to doing that sign off, I guess. But anyway, check out Roundtable Wrestling on Spotify, on Kish Radio. Thank you to Kish Radio and Jay Sizzle, as always, for putting us on there. Thank you so much to our producer, Tyler Martin, who is going to have to not only put this up on Spotify, but also edit it down to a 2-hour version for Kish Radio. So good luck with that. And, obviously thanks to Brett Ward, the Nightmare, for popping in for a little while and keeping the world safe from asbestos. Have a great week, man. It's always our pleasure to bring this podcast to you. We have a lot of fun talking about it. Thanks to Pablo, Kino Aquino, my brother in arms,
Skibbity
D-Lo, Thank you again, man. Thank you to everyone who listens. And we'll be back next week with more Round Table Wrestling.